Halle Berry. I'm so like, what am I doing? All right, let's see here. Do 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 do. Seller to chord. Why not? Here. All right. I don't know why they shadow banned this page, dude. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's okay. Um, Take Finity. Connected. Okay, let's do that. All right, let's go here. Okay, let's go here. Connected. All right. I don't know why I went live this early, but fuck it. Not working, might as well. And, yeah, let's see where we go. Let's see how the stream goes. Check that. Boom. All right, yeah. Here we are. Here we are. We're in. Like, gonna end this shit on TikTok though. It's intent on keeping me shadow banned for no reason. So whatever. It is whatever. Let's see how it goes. I never know what to say. I'm just sitting here by myself, like when the stream's just starting. I don't know. It's odd. Odd. They're familiar face. Back to 0. All right. Seems like we got some people scrolling in, right? At least for now. Welcome in, welcome in. Do I know Christ myth? Yeah, I do know the Christ myth. I was a Christian for 19 years. I've know plenty about the Christ myth actually. The whole you know, birth from a virgin, death, coming back to life. Yeah, I know all about it. What made you become an atheist? So, for me personally, I just looked at the evidence surrounding Christianity and I came to the conclusion that it was false. There was no convincing evidence for the more important parts of the Bible. There was good evidence that the Bible was untrue, so that's why I left. You on this bit early? Yeah, yeah. I didn't clock in to work on time. I was like, all right, do I just eat the half a point or do I just take the day off because I got like shit ton of PTO right now? It's like fuck it, why not? Take a day off, enjoy my day. Fuck it, let's do it. How do you explain reading the Bible and seeing the actual places mentioned in the Bible in real life? The same way I explain seeing New York City, even though it's mentioned in Spider Man. Just because it's like there's places that are in real life mentioned in the fictional narrative. That doesn't mean that the fictional narrative is true. It's I don't know. It's a historical fiction basically. Agnostic, atheist, historic confirm the Bible to be true. I'm gonna need to see your source on that because it sounds like a bunch of baloney. Your streaming schedule's all over the place. Yeah, yeah. I just yeah, just wasn't doing the work thing today, so I was like, fuck it, why not? Let's do it. I mean, how Jesus' life's just a retold Bible story mixed with paganism. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. How they borrowed a lot of the claims of Jesus from prior religions like virgin birth and December 25th birth and things like that. Yeah. Oh no, I'm very well aware. Not with the specific gods that they took it from, but yeah, I'm very well aware of the fact. Why they changed? Just lack of evidence. I looked for evidence of Christianity being true, and that's why I left. Had no evidence. I figured, I just been lied to. Things happen. So you're evolutionist and believe in the Big Bang Theory. Yeah. Evolutionist, I don't know if that's a term, but yeah, I acknowledge that the Big Bang and evolution happened. I think those are, if they were able to show their work for it, it's going to be a lot better than believing in a book with talking animals. I think that's be kind of silly. I'd explain 66 books over 1,500 years come together with 40 different authors and the message of Jesus. An open book test, like manuscripts and oral traditions and written traditions being passed down from generation to generation. I mean, happens with plenty of religions. Why'd you become an atheist? So I left my faith after about a year and a half of deconstruction, and deconstruction is just critically thinking about why you believe what you believe and interrogating your faith, taking it apart layer by layer, piece by piece, checking to see if you find any veracity with the claims of the faith. Ultimately, for me, after about a year and a half of that process, I just came to the conclusion that I don't believe in anything supernatural, or do I? So that's how I left Christianity. Looked at the evidence. The evidence was not very good, so that's why I left it. Also, what's up, Reddit atheist? How you doing? So you believe a random explosion? Or I'm gonna stop reading right there. The word isn't explosion; it's expansion. I believe that the universe expanded from a hot, dense state. Don't make your misunderstanding of science my problem, please. And thank you. Just going to the afterlife is a retold story of Venus touching down on the horizon 3 days later, ascending to heaven on the other side of the horizon. Oh, that's a new one. Yeesh. They were just pulling everything from everybody, weren't they? Good God. I guess think it's I would think it's should be a dead giveaway that there's something fishy going on when Christianity had to spread the way that it spread. I think that's something true wouldn't have to spread by bloodshed. Bart Ehrman was an agnostic historian who confirmed Jesus. I mean, I accept that Jesus existed. I mean, I agree with the scholars on that. I just don't agree that he rose from the dead. I think that's the more important part. It's like I believe Muhammad existed. Muhammad definitely existed, but was he revealed the Quran by the angel Gabriel? Fuck no. Explain this video I have of Jesus singing Toby Keith. I gotta see that one. Show proof of the expansion. Show proof of snakes talking. Show proof of a global flood. Show proof of a donkey talking in Numbers 22. Show proof of people being able to be born of virgins and rising from the dead. If you want to look into science and you want to ask honest questions, then I mean it's right there for you. It's like you got the internet at your fingertips just like I do. But if you just want to say like, oh, I want to believe in this book with talking nonsense, like talking animals and other nonsense and bullshit, it's like, I mean, that's your prerogative. But then like to try to toss away science for it, it's just, I mean, asinine. Uh, that's nice of you. Everyone has their one religion. I respect you, and I respect you as well. Loaf of bread. Good to see you. No God is real. I think your brain ain't real. Then a God. What? No God is real. I think your brain ain't real. Then I don't even know what you're talking. Like, huh? Can we say words that make sense, please? Uh, what made you stop believing? So the lack of evidence is what made me stop believing. Jesus isn't historic, and neither is Muhammad. I just grant him for argument's sake, Dion. It's like because like even if we were to agree with the historians or some historians that want to say that Jesus and Muhammad are historical, it's like it still doesn't change the fact of the matter that the supernatural claims of the Bible are null and void, and the Quran are null and void. Uh, Jesus the only one true God. I mean, come on now. I mean, these are claims, sure. If you think Jesus is your one true God, go for it. But I don't know what you want me to do with that. Some historian non-Christian believe Jesus was crucified. I don't kingdom living. Are you like intentionally avoiding the part where I said like the resurrection, the supernatural stuff? The supernatural stuff is what I care about. Was he crucified? Yeah, maybe. Did he exist? Yeah, maybe. Did he come back from the dead? Fuck no. He did not. They believe the resurrection as well. No, they did not. I would love to see your evidence of that. By all means, show me a name. Bart Ehrman doesn't assert the resurrection. I forget the other Christian scholar of my name in my head right now, but they don't affirm the resurrection, like historical account of it. Um, yeah, by all means, show your work. If you're a former Christian, you were never a Christian. Okay, then leave. That's simple. Pinchas Lapide? Lapide? Okay, let's figure this out here. Historian, Israeli diplomat, tenure Israel's consul in Milan, secured diplomatic designation for the young state of Israel. Bibliography, works, Three Popes and the Jews, 1967. Let's see here. Observation, dialogue with German Reformed theologian. Literally nothing here about him claiming that there's evidence for the resurrection. So let's try that again. The reason he isn't in the grave is because he came back to life. He literally defeated death for you. No, the reason he isn't in the grave is because people that were crucified back then were thrown into mass graves, not because they were. He was actually put into a grave and given his own tomb for some weird fuck reason and like rose from it. Why do you grant it? Just for argument's sake. It's like, am I gonna go back and forth about whether or not these, people existed, or do I just grant it for the sake of saying like it still wouldn't prove the supernatural stuff? It's like the latter is a little bit more moves conversation along better when it comes to talking to Christians and Muslims. What's your favorite sin that you couldn't let go? Fucking your mom before marriage is my favorite sin that I couldn't let go. Buddy believes in evolution. Buddy believes in a book with talking animals. So there we go. He was a Jewish non-Christian. Again, nothing on this page. I just read its entire Wikipedia, not front to back, but skimmed through it. It's very short. Nothing on there about him affirming evidence of the resurrection. Why did you downgrade, bro? I wouldn't call it a downgrade. I'd say it's an upgrade. I wrote a book called The Resurrection of Jesus, a Jewish Perspective. Is there evidence for the resurrection of Christ in that book? Yes or no? If so, did you read it? Would you consider bringing a guest? Maybe later. Maybe later. Not right now though. I just got this. It's not right at this second. He was literally crucified. What do you mean? Sure. Why not? Did he rise from the dead though? If you think so, prove it. What you choose to be ignorant? I don't think it's ignorant to say that snakes don't talk and donkeys don't talk. Painting can only be made with a painter. Works the same way with God. Show that the universe is a painting, and I'll gladly agree that it was painted. I'm speaking metaphorically. I know it's obviously not a painting, but yeah, show that their universe is intentional creation. Do you not believe in God at all, or just Christianity? God at all. I don't think any of it's real personally. I think that all religions are, at least the ones that affirm some sort of God figure, are false. Even the ones that affirm something supernatural, I think those are false too. Oh, Flappy, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Okay, Scarface, I've had enough of your stupidity for today. I'm gonna get you out of here. Skadoosh! Have a good one. Take care. Have a good one. Much love, bye. But yeah, a little bit too stupid. Too stupid. Little bit too stupid for my taste. Sorry. So you believe nothing came from nothing? No. That's what Christians and Muslims believe. Because if you believe in the Bible, in the story of Genesis, it says that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and then the earth was formless matter, and then it describes how he formed it. But if it was matter that was formless, and then he had to create that matter, then he had to literally create that matter from nothing. Right? So Christians believe in something from nothing. If you're a Muslim, you have to affirm that Allah created the universe from nothing because of Quran chapter 2, Surah 2, verse 117. Flynn Monkey Crab and Anna, thank y'all for the follows. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Bianca. I appreciate that. With a face like that, glad to see you around here. You left because of lack of evidence. Was it just so much at once, or did it build up over time? Built up over time. It took me like a year and a half to fully leave Christianity. Yeah. Like a full year, like a year and a half between me finishing the Bible and coming to the conclusion that it was all fake. What do you believe? Genuine question. I think the universe has always existed. Everything needs a creator that clearly tells us God is its creator and he is real. If everything needs a creator, then God needs a creator. So who created God? Now, spoiler alert, I'll just answer your question for you. You're going to say no, like God doesn't need a creator. God's always existed. Okay, fine, sure. I think the universe has always existed. Who's right about that? All right, now we're going to start blocking. Skadoosh. What specifically made you leave Christianity? Was a skeptic, a specific incident, or a gradual? Oh, already answered that. Any proof for atheism? What does that even mean? Proof for a lack of belief in gods? How does that work? A proof for a lack of belief? Science says something can't come from nothing. I agree, but the Big Bang doesn't say that everything came from nothing. So until it starts saying such a thing, that's just unfounded, nothing. Dodging and running. Skadoosh. Have a good one. What's your, let's just say, posting content about the stupid stuff I deal with at work. You are the stupid stuff I deal with in my stream. Skadoosh. Have a good one. Take care. Much love. Bye. There we go. Big Bang is only a theory, no proof. I mean, that's just outright incorrect. That's, cosmic background, microwave radiation, redshift. These both prove the expansion of the universe. So, you love God. God is real good for you. Nobody created God because he's eternal. He's a start and the end. Okay, so you believe that something can exist without a creator. I'm glad we agree on that. Assuming the universe had a creator is a fallacy. Yes, the God of the gaps fallacy. Enter unemployed hours. Yeah. I said fuck it. I woke up too late for work, so I was like, fuck it. Just I got like a couple weeks of PTO. Why not? NASA says we live inside a black hole. No, they don't. You're all God and you create what you want. Not quite. I want to see you in heaven, bro. Please just accept that he's real. No, thank you. I'm good on that. None for me, thanks. There is a God. Prove it. Everyone getting rage baited. Religious people can't fathom someone not believing in the same religion as them. Could you fucking imagine somebody with different beliefs? Like what? Theory is actually the highest level of belief in science because it's filled with evidence. Exactly. I don't know why people older than me or like near my age don't know what a fuck a scientific theory is. As a Christian, I love hearing other people POV and thoughts about things. I love seeing you here. Yeah, I'm glad to get your perspective and thoughts about things. And also, you let me stop. Let me stop. Hell is a scare tactic to keep us on Earth. I think hell is a scare tactic to keep people in the religion for sure. Yeah, because like think about it for a second. All powerful God, powerful enough to create the entire universe, to do literally anything he could possibly want. All knowing, everywhere, perfect, all loving. But oh, you're not convinced that I exist? Well, let me just throw you in the oven. Like, come on, dude. Does that make sense for you? You're going to hell if you don't think that God is real. I'm not gonna. I don't believe in that, so I don't know what you want me to do with that. What make you change? Lack of evidence is what made me change. I looked for evidence, found all of it unconvincing. That's why I left Christianity. Turned to the true God, the flying spaghetti monster, ramen, dude, ramen. Let me stop. Let me act up. How are you here right now if there's no God? My parents had sex like 30 years ago, somewhere in there. So, you know, somewhere in that, like 29 years and 9 months ago. This is how I got here. Do you know who Lee Strobel was? Yeah, the guy who wrote The Case for Christ. I've seen the movie. Yeah, it's I don't know, like like good for him, but yes, it's not convincing for me personally. If God created everything, He has power to do anything. Why doesn't He just make everyone believe? Good question. Very good question. Hell is the absence of God. That's all that hell is. It's not a place people are sent. It's an absence of God. I mean, you can call it whatever you want to, like, sure, but I just don't believe in it. You know, He missed the mark. God was the word, and He spoke it with the word. He put it to exist. These are definitely claims for sure. What if I showed you evidence of I did? Would you possibly change your mind? If you have evidence for God that can pass scrutiny, don't show it to me. Take it to the Nobel Prize Committee. They'll give you a nice big fat Nobel, put you in the history books. You might even convert the whole planet. If you got convincing evidence, solid evidence, take it to them. Don't take it to me. Bianca, thank you for the follow, sweetheart. Appreciate you. Space and Earth being a ball isn't real. I hope you're joking about that. Read the book, not the movie. He brings historic evidence. He brings scientific evidence. Doubtful. No evidence of heliocentrism that everyone believes that. Okay, we're just. I don't even care if you're joking. I'm gonna get you out of here. Skadoosh. Have a good one. Oh wait, no, you were serious too. Oh hell no, I can't talk to flat earthers. Fuck no. Fuck no. Former atheist here. Hey, welcome in, dude. Saying we should at least categorically know what the claims are before calling them false or stupid. I was a Christian for 19 years and I've read the Bible twice. I think I know better than most people in the chat what the claims being made are. Jesus is gonna win you back, bro? Not likely. No evidence of heliocentrism is crazy. Jesus really loves you, bro. Praying for you. Okay, dude. Who made that sunset? There wasn't a who behind it. Natural processes cause that sunset. I respect your views and I have no idea whether God is real or not. What's your reason to believe in him not existing? Look at the evidence and see if the evidence passes scrutiny. I'll give you a hint. It's not going to. Are you a Muslim? No. Fuck no. I'm an atheist. I'm not a Muslim. I've read the Quran once, but no. To be a Muslim, you have to believe that the Quran is perfect, and I don't see any perfection in the Quran. Therefore, definitionally speaking, I couldn't be a Muslim. Still respect you, even if you don't believe God is real. God says to love and don't hate. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Uh, who made the natural processes that made sunsets? Who made the person who made the natural processes that made the sunsets? Big Bang is false. God is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Me when I turn my brain off. That you don't know what hell is. I don't give a shit what hell is, dude. Okay, call it a fucking oven full of cupcakes for all I give a shit. I don't care. I don't believe in it. Like it's like, come on, man. The fuck. You don't know what hell is? That's strong. You know what else is strong? Your mom's booty cheeks. Uh, can you see me, please? Yeah, I can see you, Leah. Yeah, I became an atheist because of the lack of evidence. I looked for evidence and found all of it unconvincing, so that's why I left. So let me get it straight. If God's not real, how do you explain your existence or thoughts or moral or what's good or bad? Why are there rules in this world that even we know, e.g., do not kill? All right, let me break this down piece by piece. My existence, my parents boned, my thoughts, my brain works, my morals, empathy. What's good or bad? Empathy decides that. Why are there rules in this world that we know, etc.? Do not kill. I think if there were like rules that we can objectively appeal to, then there wouldn't be anybody that does these things, right? If you want to argue, it's like some people like genuinely, everyone genuinely knows in their heart of hearts that these things are bad. Like every single person, including the people that do them, then I mean, I need to see your work on that one. What branch of Christianity were you in? I was a Baptist for 16 years and an Apostolic for 2 years. That's why it's what branches I was in. How do you explain the start of humanity? Abiogenesis and evolution. If you mean like for humans or any species, evolution. If you mean for the last universal common ancestor, abiogenesis. What should you seek if God isn't real? Mental health. I think you should seek mental health even if God is real. I think you should always take care of yourself. Uh, you don't want to believe. I mean, if there's evidence, by all means, present it. My entire family are Baptists. Oof, that's an oof. Let's also not forget religious morality is subjective to the religion one chooses. Can't forget that. Yeah, it's like if somebody like this is why I really kind of scoff at the moral argument. It's like, okay, you're a Christian, that's cool. Um, I've read the Bible twice. God does a lot of shit throughout it that I morally disagree with. Why would a God make me to morally disagree with him? If you want to believe, you would find evidence and try to fill the blanks. If like find evidence implies that there is evidence. It's like saying if you want to believe in Superman, you would find evidence that Superman is real. What if, and hear me out here, there's no evidence of Superman being real because Superman isn't real? Like imagine. So I'm guessing you're an old Christian. I used to be a Christian. I'm just old now. And by old I mean late 20s. Uh, were you saved? I thought I was for sure. Yeah, that was part of my beliefs. Do I enjoy pickles? I love pickles. Yeah, pickles are great. Love a big juicy pickle for sure. Just look at the trees and don't think about it. Right. You know what, Dion? Like before, remember who you were? I was literally thinking for a second like somebody was legitimately telling me to look at the trees. I've gotten that like I really wish I've gotten it 0 times, but I've gotten it like a few dozen times, like the past just few months. Same situation here. Stop believing. I don't really know why, but I just stopped. Yeah, fair is fair. You know, you just not convinced. Nothing wrong with being unconvinced of it. What caused you to change into an atheist? I looked for evidence of God being real and found none of it convincing. That's what caused me to change into an atheist. I looked at the historical evidence, at the logical arguments, at the archaeological evidence, at the prayed to God, looked through the Bible, the theological claims, the apologetics, and just none of it was convincing to show the existence of God. So that's why I left. Do I like pretzels? Pretzels are probably my favorite snack. Yeah. Have you ever thought about the socio-political implications of Skibbity Toilet? I have. They're not great. It's not great. These people are going to grow up and be lawyers. I want you to think about that. Same situation. Oh wait, no, I already read that. You can present the evidence. Okay, let's hear it. I got you. Bring your best. What evidence you got for me? For what reason did you not feel that there was evidence supporting Christ's existence? The lack of evidence for Christ's existence is what made me feel that there was no evidence supporting Christ's existence. That's why I stopped. Because for evidence for Christ's existence, or like at least for the resurrection of Jesus, you'd have to show that there's a contemporary account of his resurrection. We don't have such a thing. And so for a supernatural claim like somebody rising from the dead, I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. I think everybody should. It's always ironic how it's not always ironic that when my prayers are answered, it's just cause and effect. Like, right, imagine. Pray for car keys, find car keys. That's gone. Couldn't hate the defensive look around you because the evolution of the earth environment. Yeah, way things are proves my particular religion is just asinine at this point. You sound like the Khan Academy guy. Dude, I get that so often, man. I didn't even, like, I listened to him. I was like, what the, why are we, what, huh? That's me. But no, I'm not the Khan Academy guy. I'm just a dude. Jesus died for us that we can be in heaven with him when we die. Good for him. Love that for him. Love to hear it. Layla, thank you for the follow. Meteor, let's see here. I'm sorry for you because you don't want to know. You want proof, like saying you don't believe in meteors unless one strikes down in front of me. No, there's evidence of meteors, though. That's the thing. There's evidence. There's convincing evidence for meteors. There's no such evidence for God, though. We can see meteors. We can meteor showers, shooting stars, all that good stuff. We can see it. Join Islam? Fuck no. No, thank you. Why else would you speak of God if you didn't believe? Because 60% of the country I live in believes in this God, so I feel like it's worth talking about. I bet it's so freeing to not have to live in fear and anxiety of having to be perfect and sin free. It is underrated. It's criminally underrated. I love every second of it. I'm lying. I don't love every second of my life, but that's one thing off my plate I can say. There's no like invisible force or being outside of you or around you that's watching everything you do, expecting you to live a certain type of way. It's good stuff, man. 10 out of 10 would recommend. What do you think will happen when you die then? I think you just cease to exist personally. Like your ability to experience things just dies with you personally. Should we legalize substance use? I think we should, yeah. I think we should let the problem solve itself. Let's see here. If you don't mind me asking, why don't you believe in God? It's lack of evidence. I'm unconvinced by any evidence for God. Do I wipe or let it crust? What do you think, man? I'm not even going to answer that. What do you think? What do you think? I'm gonna leave it ambiguous. Is this a loop? No, this is not a loop. This is a live stream. It is April 28th, 2025, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No loops going on here. Where do you believe our world came from? If you're talking about like our Earth, like the planet, accretion disks and gravity is what formed it over the course of millions of years. If you're talking about the universe, past the point of the Big Bang, we don't know. Sir Keith Eric, thank you for the follow. Your former atheist turned Christian. Okay, well, welcome in, welcome in. If you want proof in afterlife, what happens to a star when it goes supernova? It gets reborn. Does it get reborn though? Does it? Does it really? When you know God, you know God. There's no doubting. He showed up for me too many times. It sounds like God picks favorites then, because imagine there's a lot of kids right now that are going through some awful things that are wanting God to show up for them, and sure enough, not happening. Can you just put I don't believe in God because of lack of evidence, since that's the most asked question? Yeah, I could, but I don't know. For reasons I'm not going to. The indoctrination is strong with this comment section. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Do I believe in Gyat? Of course I believe in Gyat. The fuck? Yeah, of course I believe in Gyat. I've seen Gyat, you know. I was lucky enough to, touch a couple Gyats in my life. Yeah, I believe in Gyat. Absolutely. You believe you're the flesh? That's where all the evidence leads. What's up, Ama? How you doing? How were stars made? How to explain stellar fusion to somebody and like hydrogen fusion, basically. Fusion, gravity, a lot of different things cause stars. God loves me. Good for him. Who made you? My parents. Honestly, I understand why you feel like not following God is better because there are no rules in anything I need to follow. I wouldn't say there's no rules. Still societal expectations, cultural expectations, laws, and my empathy stops me from doing a lot of awful shit. I don't desire to harm people because I'm not a psychopath, because I have empathy like a normal person, right? But I'd say the rules that I follow have nothing to do with like a God in the sky personally. You volunteer as tribute? I got you. Here we go. All right. Rub my hands together. You know, get them nice. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Anyway, do you at least believe in a creator? No, I don't believe in a creator personally. I think yeah, I think the universe itself has always existed. Zibble, zoop, zeep, zoop, zibble. Of course, man. Absolutely. You're wrong, mate. God is real. What the? He's coming? I didn't need to know that. Do you believe that Jesus died for you because he loves you? No, no, I don't. I believe Jesus died for me because he, you know, was a Jewish teacher during a time where there was an executable offense. Have you told anyone personally that you're atheist? If so, how did it go? Yeah. There's some people in my life that know. Almost all of my current friends know. The ones that don't know haven't asked, and I just haven't talked to them. I don't LARP as a Christian or anything. Um, Family knows. Yeah, everybody knows. Lost friends, like from my church environment back when I first deconstructed. That was rough. Made some new friends though. Um, Family, I mean, you can't got no choice with them, right? My mom didn't take it too well. I don't know if my dad ever found out. He's dead now. Uh, Sister took it well. Brother took it well. My sister doesn't believe in God anymore. She's like a deist, or no, she's not like Christian. She's like a deist, spiritual sort of. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual ass person. My brother's still a Christian, but they both took it well. Mom didn't. Agnostic's a great way of life. Yeah, agnosticism I think is the most honest position personally. Are you Christian? No, I used to be a Christian, but I'm not a Christian anymore. I'm glad my religious family understood instead of trying to push it on me my whole life. You got lucky, man. Mine is your mileage may vary for sure. I'd argue Christianity doesn't push morals either because you can mess up and still be forgiven. Yeah, exactly. It's like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, the Ku Klux peeps, the White Hoods, they're all up in heaven right now. They repented before they died. So, do I want to be up there with them? Your family's very, very aware you're an atheist. Hell yeah, bro. Repent to God. No, thank you. None for me, thanks. You legit can debunk that there is no God. No, because it's an untenable position. You can't just like say, oh, God's outside of literally everything, literal space, literal time, literal reality, literal logic, literal matter, energy, just outside of literally everything, outside of existence, just outside of all the things, and then say like, okay, well, you can't disprove this. Duh. Duh. You just took the goalpost and put in a fucking rocket ship, send that shit to the moon. Yeah. Like, duh. Heading out. If you're still live later, you're definitely join again. Appreciate you being here, Bianca. Thank you for stopping by and, call me. Let me stop. What did you share your belief on the internet? Like, keep it to yourself. Do you tell people who are like preaching on the street the same thing? Like, oh, why you out here preaching? Just keep it to yourself. Probably not, because you most likely agree with them, right? So if you think that people have the right to express themselves, I'm not seeing why that shouldn't also apply to me. He's outside of existence because he doesn't exist. Exactly. Wait, matter of fact, I think I got a sound effect for that. Of course I do. Yeah. Duh. Yeah, of course. Unk, I'm moving. Should I take my game or basic necessities? You should take the game 100%. You know, you can replace your basic necessities, but you can't replace your game. All right. W advice in the chat. He literally created space, time, and matter. You can say he existed out of those things. How do you think we exist? I think the universe itself has always existed. Sir, thank you for the follow. Also, stop spamming, dude. If you listen, if you call the stream rage bait, you're getting put in the pack. You know, I'm rolling you up. So I don't know if you want to do that. Anyway, Vince T, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let me go get you on out of here. Bills, put user in timeout. Yeah, you had a good run, but I'm gonna go and see you tomorrow. Skadoosh, skadoosh, get skadooshed, get skadooshed. Your voice is very familiar. Do you make videos on YouTube playing video games? No. I have a like I used to, but not anymore. Um, haven't uploaded in like over a year. Oh, well over a year. That's a weird question. I'm gonna go get you on out of here. Skadoosh, skadoosh. Is your family Christian? My mom is Christian. My brother's Christian. My sister's no, she's like new age sort of deal going on. How complex do you think the human body is, in your opinion? Depends on who you ask. Ask a cardiologist, probably, you know, less complex than a layman. Ask me, I'd say, yeah, kind of complex for sure. Yeah, I think there's complexity to it. It's just depending on your knowledge of something. That depends on the show, like predicates how complex it is. You're familiar with the pop culture definitions. You don't know what the terms mean intellectually, or huh? Who is exactly? I'm not. I couldn't tell you. What was your wake up call to get out of Christianity? For me, reading the Bible is what started it. Also, Sir Keith Eric, thank you for the W. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm want to take that W. I'm gonna put it where the sun don't shine, which is in my drawer. Thank you so much. For me, it was reading the Bible. I read the Bible, thought about God differently after finishing it, and that's like what kind of kicked everything off. It ended when I realized that I was holding God to a different standard than everything else. You know, human body is very complex. Ask an endocrinologist. Yeah, it's pretty complex. I'm just not seeing what the implication is though. Why'd you leave God, or what made you leave God? Lack of evidence is what made me step away from Christianity. If it had evidence for it, I'd still be a Christian. He didn't have to kill a man to be forgiven. That sincerely doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that seems kind of odd, especially his son, who's also himself. Like, right? Would I consider myself an anti-theist? I'm getting there. Honestly, I'm getting there. I wouldn't say currently, no, but I'm getting there. The more I learn about religion, obviously its history, the way that it permeates and through our society currently, it's kind of hard to not be anti-theistic, but I'm trying to be nice about it. Should Diddy be released? No, keep that motherfucker locked up. Keep that motherfucker locked up. You were never Christian, my boy. Okay, then leave the stream, or probably not, because you want your attention. Jesus is not God. I agree. Jesus was just a guy, just a dude, just a regular schmegular schmuck, you know. Okay, Arabic name. I'm not seeing it. Like, okay, that's cool. That's awesome. Cool beans. Fun facts about the body. What is this? What are we doing with this though? Do you think the Bible is just some book some guy wrote and never intended for it to be religion? I think they intended for it to be religion. I don't know if they intended for it to spread around the planet the way that it did. No, we're not. If you come back on another account, those are blocks. No, skadoosh, skadoosh. Were you homophobic? I wouldn't say homophobic. I'd say, like, how do I best explain it? Like, from a, ever meet those people who are like who pity people? I was one of those people. I was really self-righteous about it. I wouldn't say I've ever had an issue with gay people, but I was one of those people who was like, man, that's not for me to judge, but they better repent, or God's gonna do what God's gonna do. Really disgusting. It's not as bad as some people like out here doing demonstrations and like God hates flags, but yeah, it's still self-righteous, still, high horse grandstander for sure. I wouldn't say I was completely homophobic though. That's the issue. Wasn't with the sexuality or anything. It was the implications of it in relation to, that's more so where I stood with it. You hate some flags. The Turkmenistan flag is kind of weird for sure. We're all humans. Your relationship with God is on your own. There you go. Uh, Please get Jiffy Sam out of here. What's Jiffy Sam doing? Oh, just still preaching. Oh, yeah. Do I eat hot dogs? Yeah, hot dogs are great. Get some chili on there, some cheese, a little minced onion, some mustard. What else goes on a hot dog? That's all you really need: chili, cheese, mustard, onion, the good stuff. As an atheist, what do you think is the purpose of life? I don't think there's an objective purpose of life, but I think it's up to you as an individual to figure out what the purpose of your life is. Pickle goes good on hot dog, but it's not always available, so I didn't bother throwing it in. What is my purpose? Simple answer. I think that my purpose is to make the lives of the people around me as easy as possible and experience the things that I'm interested in experiencing. Hugh loves his chili dogs. A big fan of chili dogs. Yeah, like the old meaty log in my mouth. Love it. This active, so cool. I'm proud of you. No, don't be proud of me. Be proud of the YouTube algorithm. That's they're the real goats in this situation. I wasn't even gonna go live. I never go live this hour. Is Diddy the best diddler? I don't know if we should be ranking diddlers, dude. I think that's a little out there. Should Diddy be released? Fuck no. You ever think about going to hell if God does exist? If you're wrong about him not being a thing? No, not at all. Not even a little bit. Because if a like love or justice is just like emotionally, like, let's take my emotions out of it. Let's take my morals out of it. Just logically speaking, is not congruent with the idea of sending somebody to hell for not believing you exist. I think that's a little absurd. Why do you see Diddy comments on the YouTube side? I'm sorry. I'm all I can say is I'm sorry on that one. That's all we could do on that one. Let's see. Can I say what? Ice? I don't know that second word. Sorry. The shame of box. Thank you for following the Twitch. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let's do a little, while I got some people in here, let's do a little self promo real quick. Follow my other stuff, man. Follow my other things. YouTube, TikTok, both my TikToks. I'm live on the second one right now. Um, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Kick, Trovo, right? Yeah, follow them. Why not? What do you think will happen when you die? I think you cease to exist. I think that's just it for you. Just complete, total, lights out, like before you were born, basically. What's the alternative to God? A necessary universe? If by necessary you mean eternal, I mean that's one of them, sure. A lot of people just say I don't know. For me, I just go so far as to say like the universe has always existed. Why aren't you very Protestant then? I was a Protestant before I left. Now become Muslim? Fuck no. Do I like Diddy? No, no, I don't like Diddy. I think Diddy's an awful, 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 awful person. Very vivid answer. Most people would say a similar thing. I want to know, what is your goal in life? I just told you, man. Just told you. Why wouldn't you become a Muslim? In the kindest words possible, to become a Muslim, you have to hold that the Quran is true and that it's perfect, morally perfect, evidentially perfect, scientifically perfect. It's completely perfect. It's the inspired word of God Himself. brought down by the angel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad. That's what you have to believe about the Quran to be a Muslim, definitionally. And in the kindest words possible, I don't believe that the Quran is perfect. So I cannot, like, definitionally, I couldn't be a Muslim. By the way, we set the goal. Grant, thank you for the 5 roses. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Didn't like him before the diddling. You know what? In the spaces, like just growing up, like people have been saying for years and years something's off about him. Yeah, let's reset the goal though. Why not? Let's do it. Let's make some cashola. Fuck it. Live goal. Have you tried it, the Quran? I mean, yeah, I've read the Quran once, all the way from Surah 1, verse 1 to Surah 114, verse 6. I've read the whole thing, front to back, top to bottom, all that good stuff. And it's not for me. It's not for me. I'll leave it at that. Can't when I'm on TikTok, I can't talk too much about it because they don't like it when I'm critical of that particular religion. Send God your way. I want to meet him. I'll um I'll put in a good word for you. Voluntarily giving up salvation. Show that salvation exists. By the way, I fucking love your profile picture. I remember that episode like it was yesterday. That dude could. Oh my god, that was so awkward. But yeah, that was hilarious. He said everyone is atheist until they hit the trenches. I said everyone's not atheist. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the trenches before. Not the literal war trenches, but I've almost died before, you know? Almost choked to death. So yeah, I've been there. You know, it's borderline passing out. You know, I can guarantee you God was not the thing I was thinking about. Thank you for the 2 GGs. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. All right, yeah, we got a spammer in the YouTube. May Allah guide you to this mute. 24 hours. Skadoosh. Have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you being here. I can't read whatever language it is. I think it's Arabic. Could be Urdu. Looks kind of like Urdu. I don't know, but can't read it. Get skadoosh though. Just we don't do that spamming whatever the fuck that is. So let's calm that down. I was nearly in a fatal car accident. I didn't suddenly come to Jesus either. Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works. God, no, but my God cannot be comprehended by sense knowledge, nor can man search him. If that's the case, then I have no reason for believing in your God. So there we go. I cannot read what language that is. How is it you can read in other languages? Oh, Live Studio translates for them automatically. That's how I'm able to read them. Is Diddy Cthulhu? I think Cthulhu might be more morally good than Diddy is, honestly. Can of Trash, thank you for the follow. What's up, Gert? How you doing? Why'd you turn atheist? So I left my faith after about a year and a half of deconstruction, and deconstruction is just critically thinking about why you believe what you believe, interrogating your faith, taking it apart layer by layer, piece by piece, checking to see if you find any veracity in the claims of the faith. Ultimately, for me, after about a year and a half of that process, I just came to the conclusion that I don't believe in anything supernatural or divine. Do I believe in Hugism? Yeah, we got some Hugrams out there. I'm one of them for sure. You know, I'm the leader of the Hugram Church. It's funny how the Ark of the Covenant is actually real. No, that was a hoax by Ron Wyatt. You do realize if it was revealed more than 1,400 years ago and it contains scientific fact that's proven in this modern age of technology, like the scientific fact that sperm comes from between the backbone and the ribs, which we know is false. The scientific fact that the moon split, which we know is false. The scientific fact that ants talk to Solomon, which we know is false. Why do you say there's no God? I just don't believe in a God. I just have no reason to believe in one. 9 out of 10 people die in a car wreck, or Christians praise God for saving the one. Exactly. It's kind of odd how that works. Just all the praise, none of the responsibility. What we got here. I can't read that, so I don't know. Atheism explains Hitler. What do you mean explains Hitler? Is that like a dig on atheism, or is it like a justification for his existence? I don't even know where you're going with that one. Are you moral or are you honorable? I try to be both, right? I try my best to be both. I don't know. Sounds like God's on a power trip. Yeah. So the devil won you over. I mean, I don't believe the devil's real either, so cool. Do you believe that Deltarune is 35 tomorrows away? I don't even know what the fuck that means, I'll be honest with you. I genuinely struggle with atheism very recently. What makes us humans think we're correct in our thinking in regards to morality in comparison to an eternal and all-knowing God? Um, I mean, one could argue that what is actually just is the things that appear to us to just be have human intent behind them, but then at that point you lose the ability to argue for a God's existence by way of our morality or moral intuitions. The stream doesn't really allow for genuine and earnest discussion, but it's just a sounding board for channel engagement. If it's just a channel engagement, that's understandable. I mean, it's part. I want a conversation, right? I seem to be doing just a fine enough job having a decent enough conversation with the people whose comments I'm catching, right? If you think that it's a bad thing to need somebody else to engage with you in order to have a conversation, then I mean, it's your prerogative, I guess. 13 viewers on TikTok as well. Yeah, that TikTok account is actually chalked. TikTok account is chalked. Don't feel bad. He's fooled the world. Yeah, that must be exhausting. There's all like some invisible evil force that's trying to convince people that he's not real, just so you can get souls or something. That's got to be fucking exhausting. That's. Do you think some people need God to keep themselves accountable? Mom thinks God has to be real after she survived a severe car accident. I mean, I think some people think that they do for sure. And I think those people should stay the fuck away from me, right? But I don't necessarily think that they do. Like, let's consider it for a second, right? Harassment and bullying. All right, let's end it on the TikTok before we get banned on there. But yeah, like let's think about it for a second. The Catholic Church, a lot of Catholic churches have insurance for claims made by sexual assault victims because priests and bishops and these leaders in the church can't stop touching kids, right? And so these are people who are authorities on, you know, giving like doling out religion and holiness and all these religious things to their communities, and yet they can't stop touching kids. Conversely, we have people like Salvation Armies is probably not the best example to use, but they do some good. So fuck it, I'll use the Salvation Army. We got people like them who are making homeless shelters, handing out food, got thrift stores, donating money to charitable organizations and things like that. And they also believe in this God. And so we also, on the other side, we have atheists who, committed genocides. We got like what, Pol Pot, Stalin, Mao Zedong. But then we also have atheists who are secular humanists trying their best to, help the world around them. And so for me, it makes a lot more sense that people's morality is endemic to them no matter what they believe in, and that their religion will have little to no effect on what they actually want to do in their heart. I feel like if people who think that they need God for their morality were to suddenly stop believing in God, then their morality wouldn't change either. So I don't know. I feel like people just want to toss up their moral, like toss up their moral what's the word I'm looking for? Intuitions up to like some God figure. Do I like oatmeal cookies? I love oatmeal cookies, yeah. Romans 10. Okay, yeah, no, that's just preaching. Before being human, were you a hot dog god who made hot dogs and gave them the humanity, making it their greatest pleasure? No, unfortunately, I wasn't. All right, let me go get you on out of here. Let's stop the spam, dude. I see, yeah, see your comment, dude. It's Skadoosh. Catholicism is purely religion, not a relationship with God, which he desires, no different than the Pharisees that Jesus pledged so harshly. They'd say the same thing about Protestants. We can infight or we can hold each other accountable. And the fact that people are more interested in infighting, just saying, oh, you aren't truly you're not doing it the right way. Oh, you're not doing it the right way. Oh, you're heretical. You're heretical. This, that, and the third. Instead of just holding each other accountable, it's like part of why I see Christianity as a joke, right? It's like we have not even just in Catholicism, but multiple denominations, multiple churches. Obviously, it's like a widespread problem of religious leaders touching kids. And instead of saying, oh, maybe they shouldn't touch kids, it's like, oh, well, they're not actually Christian. Like, we care more about saving face than like trying to hold our own accountable. I think that's fucking absurd. Skidoo. If you were truly Christian, you would have never gave up your faith. By that logic, nobody's a true Christian because if everybody can leave their faith since they're still alive, then nobody gets to call themselves a Christian until the day they die. So if that's the hill you want to die on, I mean, die on it all you want to, but that's a dumb hill to die on. What's up, Poetic Quins? How you doing? What if one conscience aligned with God's will and invitation makes them see God instead of seeking God to fit or change themselves? I think change people choose their framework. I mean, I just disagree, man. I don't know. I feel like for things like motivation to get out of bed in the morning, motivation to have positive effects in their life, like, you know, beating addiction, things like that, turning their life around, stopping committing crime and whatever, what have you. I mean, sure, in that regard, but for their moral intuitions, I think religion has little to nothing to do with it personally. Come on, bro, be sincere. The Quran has a long list of facts. Don't limit yourself on a couple. Yeah, no, that's just not how that's going to work. No, if it wasn't for the evidential issues with the Quran, it would be the moral issues. If it wasn't for the moral issues, it'd be the contradictions. Like multiple different verses saying like Allah created us from this, from that, the third. Oh, He created us from nothing according to this verse. Another one says burnt clay. Another says sticky clay. Another says a clinging clot. Another says thick fluid. Another says water. Another says dust. Another says earth. It's just like if it's not one thing, it's another. So I can't definitionally be a Christian. Have you read H.P. Lovecraft? No, but I am a fan of like the mythos in general, or at least like the seeing it on TikTok. To be honest with you, with you holding denominations accountable, especially when they aren't in line with God's principles, I don't believe any are fully correct, but the relationship with God is crucial. Yeah, I mean that's cool beans. Love to hear it. If good doesn't like suffering, I guess yeah. If good doesn't like suffering, why do you have to kill and consume other living things just to live? Yeah, it seems kind of odd that God doesn't want suffering, but He made whales in a way that they don't dispatch their food peacefully or mercifully before swallowing it whole. I think that's kind of weird. There's a bunch of fish, just hundreds and hundreds of fish swimming around in a whale right now, getting digested whole and live. I heard that from allegedly Ian, admittedly, but they make a great point. It's just all this gratuitous suffering, just no reason for the suffering, and yeah, seems kind of odd to me. As an atheist, or at least as somebody who accepts evolution, it makes perfect sense, right? We evolved to need the enzymes and proteins and to replenish that within ourselves in order to continue our bodily processes. And so the unfortunate reality is that we got to get that from other living things. But as a Christian, I mean, that just seems very odd to try to justify. You have 67 viewers on YouTube, which is impressive. What's up, JC? Yeah, earlier it was at like 380. It's been a good stream so far. It's winding down though. I gotta probably get off here soon, but yeah, it's winding down. What's up, Moji? How you doing? Uh, let's see here. How the Quran has no contradictions, not as there are many or moral issues. I mean, feel free to believe that, but I'm not going to debate it with you. I'm done debating Muslims about the Quran because what Muslims would rather do is lie about what things mean within the book. Oh, this is morally good, that's morally good. Oh, Muhammad fucked a 9-year-old when he was 54. Oh, well, it was just the norms back then. Or they'll just lie like, oh, she was actually 19 somewhere in there. It's a mistranslation. Um, God giving you new skin just to have, like giving non-believers new skin in hell just to have it burnt off again over and over. Like that's actually a good thing. Or it's not actually talking about skin. It's something like Muslims lie, and I get it. They're not bad people for it necessarily. Like their whole religious belief Not all of them, obviously, but their religious belief is contingent upon believing that the book is true, sure, right? But if you want me to go back and forth to somebody who's not going to be honest about what the book itself says, then I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Speaking to your last point, could the suffering not be a result of the fallout from the Garden of Eden? No, because the Bible claims that humans were made 6,000 years ago, and so we can verify like dinosaurs that we know existed millions of years ago had cancer in their bones. So they had cancer. They needed to eat other dinosaurs and plants to survive. Um, humans have existed a lot longer than 6,000 years. We've always needed to hunt. Yeah, it's the fall of man, or the eating of fruit isn't gonna cut it for explaining why bad things happen. Do you know title card? Yeah, I know title card. The movie begins with a yeah, there we go. Wait, what's up, JC? I see. How you doing? Dinos ate rocks, right? No, dinos did not eat rocks. Maybe a couple did. Maybe like the ones that were the precursors to birds. Maybe because they like gotta get it in there to grind their food up. But see, just like X Lord, the thing with Aisha was Muhammad didn't do anything to her. It's in the book that Muhammad treated Aisha with respect, and as a child, never had an intimate relationship with her. Right. So according to him, consummation of marriage doesn't mean an intimate relationship. So if that's just case in point, if we're willing to lie about what the book very clearly says in the Bukhari, then I mean, there's no room for conversation. So no, I don't debate Muslims. I don't. I barely even want to, talk to them about this because at least with Christianity, like there's wiggle room there. You don't have to think every little thing within the Bible is perfect. You can just say, oh, this is allegory, this is that, this is the third. Even this actually happened, but it was bad that this happened, etc., etc. Like, okay, fair, right? But with Muslims, it tells them right there in the Quran that's not an option. All of it's true. It's 100% the word of God. So no, I'm not gonna go back and forth about just trying to comb over what, like, words don't mean words. It's just not gonna happen. What are your thoughts on Hinduism and Buddhism? I think they're pretty chill. I like if Buddhism was just a little bit less supernatural in its claims, I'd be a Buddhist. But how knowledgeable are you in Christianity? I'd say honestly, like a 6 out of 10, somewhere in there. I've read the Bible twice. Haven't studied it theologically. Was a Christian for 19 years. Talked to Christians on a regular basis. I think I'm like a 6.5. I'll go as far as to say 7. I'm a 7. I remember when you used to part of Jehovah's Witness, I often asked when you were you used to be a part of Jehovah's Witness. You often ask where the dinosaurs take part in it, and most of the time they never answer my question. It was kind of funny to me. Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses are odd, dude. There's some odd ducks. Definitely some interesting people. Um, they don't celebrate any sort of holidays too. That's those are some odd ducks. My theory is that the God or creator people are searching for is the earth itself, and we live in sanctuary, but instead people throw trash around like it's a dump. I think we should take better care of the earth. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a god necessarily, but yeah, I think we should definitely take better care of it. Science would not exist if the universe wasn't perceived to be intelligible and patterned. I'm not going to read the rest of it because that's an unfounded presupposition. What are your opinions on the structure of our reality now that you're an atheist? If you know metaphysics, what metaphysical isms do you think make the most sense now? Casual answer is fine too. Um, hmm. I believe that the universe itself is eternal. I subscribe to a cyclical hypothesis. I subscribe to a B theory of time. Morally speaking, I'm kind of getting into moral realism a little bit. Materialistically speaking, I guess it's a spoiler alert, but I'm a materialist. I think everything that is, yeah, that every part of our reality come, or not every part necessarily, but all of it comes down to some sort of physical phenomena. Um, like even things like thoughts, or those wouldn't exist if our brain didn't exist. Like it's an emergent property. I got a lot of different ideas. Yeah, if you want to know more, by all means, let me know. You're the most diddiest Diddy ever. Like Diddiest Diddler. I'm not a Diddy Diddler, dude. Hell no. Fuck no. Absolutely not. What's your Myers Briggs type? INFJ is my Myers Briggs Right. In the same way the defender believes in it, you'll defend your arguments against. There's still no way you could explain the verse about the honeybees. I mean, uh, let's see here. That's not an unfounded presumption. Since the beginning of science has been a pursuit to understand something as perceived to be able to be understood to get a first principle cause. I mean, like, intelligible in that is understandable, sure, but um, like, they're the reality that we find ourselves in is able to be perceived in a way that we can make claims about it in that regard, sure, but um I'll even go so far as to say, like, sure, now what, to watch you like try to inject some sort of like intelligence behind the cause of it. Like, I'd say 9 out of 10 of the people that call the universe intelligible in these spaces try to do. How can you leave something that doesn't exist? I don't like, what do you mean by that? I could believe it to exist and then find out it doesn't exist. It's like asking how can you leave your partner when you didn't know they were cheating on you? You know, it's like you could believe they were being loyal and then just be happen to be wrong about it, right? Why did you leave God? So I left my faith after a year and a half of deconstruction. That's just critically thinking about why you believe what you believe, interrogating your faith, taking it apart layer by layer, piece by piece, checking to see if you find any veracity in the claims of the faith. Ultimately, for me, after about a year and a half of that process, I just came to the conclusion that I don't believe in anything supernatural or divine. Are you familiar with theories on how the Bible could align with Earth being billions of years old? Not exactly sure, but I think Jews interpret Genesis in a different way. I've heard it before, and I mean, it just sounds like post hoc rationalization, honestly. Like, think about it for a second. Um, verse one, not verse one, but, you know, created heavens and earth. They'll say, oh, this is the Big Bang. Created the earth that happened billions of years later. Um, created light, but then created sun after light. So it's like, you'd have to, one of the values would have to be negative. You just have to change values all the time. Like, day one have to be like 9 billion years, day two like another 3 billion, day three fucking, I don't know, another, you know, 1 billion, day four 500,000, day five negative 1 billion, because like they describe an event that we know happened before the events in Genesis, like the book, like that happens out of order in Genesis, I should say. So it's just post hoc rationalization. It's like basically the ones they know the people who wrote it got it wrong. So now that we have a way of verifying who's right about it, there's like still want a way to assume that they're somehow correct about it. If I had to take a guess, read the Bible, you understand. I've read the Bible twice. The Bible's the claim; it's not the warrant for the claim. Props to you, man, for being curious and applying critical thinking in your thought process. More religious people need to practice critical thought and be skeptical of their own beliefs. I agree for sure. Yeah, I think more people should really think about why to believe the things they do. I think that's you know, it's kind of what like one of the big reasons that I'm here. What about aliens? I think that aliens exist. I just don't think we've ever reached them so far, and I don't think we ever will. I don't believe they're like, you know, green skin, gray skin, big eye, fucking slender body, whatever, like, you know, grays or anything like that. Kryptonians or whatever you think aliens are in the media. But I think that if life has the ability to evolve on our planet and to form on our planet, and there's like, I don't know, it's like sextillions, like far more than that, just an uncountable number of planets in our universe, then just mathematically speaking, I think it had to have happened at least one other time in the universe, right? I don't think we're the only life that, as far as we can perceive it, out here. But that being said, I think even if it did, it'll be way too far away to get to us, and vice versa. But I'm sorry, one second. I just gotta make sure to thank this person. Sailor Tiki, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think it's way too far away to ever get to us. I think it will not have the capability of getting to us, not physically, not technologically. Even if it did, I don't think it could want to get to us. Even if it could, you know, they'd have to know how to get to us. I don't think they figured that out. So, no, I don't think we'll. I think all the claims of like, you know, UFOs and alien discoveries with Congress or CIA or whatever the fuck. I think it's all just like hullabaloo. I think it's all fake, but I think there is life as we know it, or what we can define to be life somewhere throughout the universe. Aravind Radha Krishna, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Greetings, greetings. How's beautiful India treating you? Honestly, think no one has shown you who the real tangible Jesus is. He was a credible human that walked the same earth as we do. He's the way, the truth, and life, not a religion. Again, I grant Jesus' existence because, like, why not, right? Even if the evidence for him is shoddy at best, it's like I'll even grant it just for the fuck of it. Why not? Why should I believe that Jesus was the Son of God? He rose from the dead, born of a virgin, walked on water, healed the blind, healed the sick, resurrected the dead, and did all these things. Instead of just believing that he was like a Jewish teacher during the time where the Romans and the Jews were at war, and who got crucified for spreading around Judaism and got thrown into a mass grave for it. Someone probably asked about this, but curious, what's your theory for how the universe began? I think the universe itself has always existed. I think, like, if I had to take a guess, I'd say past the point of the Big Bang that the universe was the universe was contracting in on itself until it got too hot, too dense to be in one place, and so space started to expand again. Probably. That's just a guess, though. It's one of the many hypotheses. There's that's a cyclical hypothesis. It could also be quantum fluctuations. It could be a god for all I know. It's just I'm agnostic about it, but that's my guess. I think it, like, scientifically makes the most sense for me. There is no God but Allah. Come to Islam. No, thank you. I've read the Quran once, and I'm good on that. I'll pass. None for me, thanks. None for me, thanks. Sometimes I often think about what's about the one post talking about if God is our creator, then wouldn't we be his OC and him shipping his OCs together? And honestly, it's kind of funny to think about. Oh man, I hope I get shipped with like like it's just uh, like a 5'2", kind of petite, thickish, just Filipina. I want to get shipped with one of them for sure. Xavier Garcia, Xavier. Not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you so much for the follow. The subscribing. Thank you for subscribing. I gotta remember I'm not on Twitch anymore. I am on Twitch, and I will start streaming on Twitch again. So if you like, make sure to follow my Twitch. Follow all my things actually. Let me sell out real quick. 1 second. Let me be a sellout. Do some selling out. We're all born atheists, didn't we? Yeah, we're all born with the lack of belief in a God, so technically speaking, we are born atheists. Yeah, go to my links. Check them out. Check out just subscribe to the YouTube. Just follow both the TikToks, right? Follow me on Twitter, Facebook if you have it. Everybody here is probably below Facebook age, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Kick, Trovo. And only if you're 18 or over, if you want to join the community, join my Discord. Only if you're 18 or over. I will ban you if I find out you're under 18. I don't want kids in there exposed to adults. And add me on Snapchat, because there we go. This man knows more about Christianity than most of y'all here. He's been Christian 19 years and read the Bible twice. That part. What's your proof that there is no God? I wouldn't say that it's firstly, the burden of proof isn't on me. Let's start there, because I'm not the one making the deviating from the default position, which is the reality that we live in, that there's no God, self-evident. But even beside that point, if I were to give evidence for God not existing, quite literally right now, you know what a Christian would do, or somebody who believes in a God would do? Oh, God's outside of that. God's outside of logic. He's outside of space. He's outside of time. He's outside of literally everything. Everything you could possibly use to verify whether or not something exists, they're just outside of it. Like, okay, sure. Move the goalposts all you want to, but then I just have no reason to believe in God. Everything came from nothing. I'm not reading the rest of that because I didn't claim that. Once you go, like, if you're going to ask me something, ask something that I claim. Don't just make up apologetics. You know, don't just listen to Cliff like atheists believe that everything came from nothing. Like, no, just ask me what I believe and then contend with that. Don't just like put words in my mouth and then try to, you know, go off of it. He's outside of logic, right? Exactly, definitionally illogical at that point. Uh, everything came from a hot dot. Yeah, basically. He was the only person in history where equally credible humans documented history who walked with him to die for his namesake. We as humans wouldn't lay down our life for a good teacher. I mean, if you want to argue that the claims of like their claims of Jesus, firstly, there's no contemporary evidence of the apostles' martyrdom. Let's start there, right? But let's assume that there was. I'm just gonna do an internal critique real quick. Even if we assume that there was, why should I believe that they laid their lives down for something that was true rather than something that they strongly believed or something that they had incentive to lay their life down for? Because if we want to argue that somebody dying for their religious beliefs makes their religious beliefs more credible, then 9/11 happened in my lifetime. They died for their religious beliefs, right? So there was the siege in Waco, Texas in 1990. I forget the year, 1992. I feel like I don't know. There was also the Jonestown disaster, massacre, whatever it is, back in 1978. These people all died for their beliefs. Why shouldn't I join any of them? Why shouldn't I join Al Qaeda or the Branch Dravidians or the People's Temple? Spoiler alert, because simply dying for something doesn't make what you're dying for true. That's an absurd claim. So you don't believe in God, right? Correct. I don't believe in God. That is correct. What would you respond to the transcendental argument for God? It's unbeatable even to this day. It's unfounded metaphysical idealism. It just makes the assumption that logic in and of itself is like some sort of tangible ideal or some sort of thing that we're accessing in the first place. Which, if you're a metaphysical idealist, I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but you're not right either. It's not something you can prove one way or the other, right? But the very nature of philosophy is not something that's meant to be proven or not. But it just basically says, oh, metaphysical idealism is right. Logic is something that we're accessing, and then logic is something that we use because of a one particular God figure. Insert here, spoiler alert. Most times they just choose Christianity. I think the transcendental argument is dishonest for the same reason that the moral argument's dishonest. It's trying to use your preferred God figure to take credit for a, I wouldn't say verifiable aspect of our reality, but an accepted aspect of our reality, an accepted emotion or framework of the human experience, whether it be morals or logic itself, in court and attack. Have you ever encountered Jesus to say that you were once a Christian, ever touched by the Holy Ghost? If not, then just a namesake Christian. I'm not interested in doing a back and forth with you, dude. I'm not even going to answer your question. If it's like, if you want to believe I wasn't a Christian, that's your prerogative. I don't want to take that from you. If you want to believe I was, if you want to believe me when I say that I was, considering that I am me, right, and I'm not you, and you're not me, and you are you, meaning I have more authority to talk about what I was than anybody else in the chat. But if you still want to believe I wasn't a Christian, I'm not going to take that from you. But am I going to debate you about whether or not I was a Christian, whether or not I meet your random arbitrary standard? Fuck no, I'm not about to, actually. What morals do you think are objective? I think anything that would presuppose empathy would have to be maybe not objective, but a moral fact. But just our application of that moral fact would become subjective. And so I know that's kind of a non-answer, but I did kind of touch on it. It's like anything where you can say your empathy is the thing that determines whether or not it's true or not, or wrong or right or not. And so yes, I'm not gonna sit there and name 50,000 things for you. Theft, um, pedophilia, sexual assault, murder, like unjustified murder, I should say. Anything that will have to presuppose whether or not you want it to happen to you or somebody that you care for before you continue. Curious about your opinion on Satan/Lucifer. Forgot which it is and the way they feel humans. I mean, I don't think either of them are real. I think they're just like characters, fictional. Same like with God. I think he's just Just some fiction. Just good old fiction. I understand, but no other religion. You know, when you hear somebody say "I understand," but you know you're about to just see some complete and total nonsense. Like, oh, I heard the things that you said, but I still want to parrot my idea. Let me see if I'm true right about that. I understand, but no other religion or their religious construct even allow for the possibility of a God that fits in the tag. It's not Christianity is inserted, but only Christian theology can be. Oh, never mind. You're the person that was talking about tag. Oh, I got you confused. Somebody else. Understand no other religion or the religious construct even allow for the possibility of a God that fits in the tag. I mean, that's just again post hoc rationalization, right? Because like everything like firstly it's arbitrary to say what's necessary for this quote unquote absolute mind. What other attributes it must have in order to fit the argument. So it's just arbitrary to make up things like, oh, it's got to be personal God, it's got to be all powerful, all these things. But even if so, like even each individual attribute can be attributed to at least one other god, right? If they want to say it's a personal god, then you can easily say it's like the pantheistic idea of God, or Spinoza's that can explain that can be the quote unquote absolute mind behind logic. If you want to say it's like it has to be monotheistic, then you could just say the god of Sikhism or Zoroastrianism is the god of it. And even among people within Abrahamic faiths, like even they debate about it, or they should, because I've had Muslims run tag on me and I've had Christians run tag on me. So until one of them can figure it out, then you know, at least they agree it's the Abrahamic God, maybe sure, but until they come to more of an agreement, I have no reason to even. It's a bone without meat. Understand he's not real, but I really want him to be. That's an interesting place to be in. I don't even know if I want him to be real personally. I just uploaded the video today where, um, you know, it's kind of apt to the Christian position, but where it's kind of like a saw trap that you're put in with Christianity. And yeah, I don't want somebody like that to be real. Have you asked the question of why when you point one finger it represents the number one and not two? That's the level of laws of logic we're talking about here. Why don't they change slash abstract? Again, it's post hoc, right? For me, logic is the framework that we use to decipher information around us. Like for a single value, we've assigned the word one to it, and so the fact that that single value is defined as one isn't something that's what's the word I'm looking for? Prescriptive. It's descriptive. You know, so it's like putting the carriage before the horse. We define like for instance my keyboard. I define it to be a keyboard, and so I accept that it's a keyboard. I can't then turn around and say like, oh, the fact that this keyboard is a keyboard means that logic has to be like, you know, uniform and like God damn it, the word I'm looking for is imply some higher being to have created this uniformity. You know, so yeah, it's, for me, the laws of logic themselves are just axiomatic. I don't really need to take it one step further than saying that things are what they are, law of identity. Things aren't what they aren't, law of non-contradiction. And there's no middle ground between something in its negation or something in its not something. Law of excluded middle. Uh, what did you realize after converting to atheism? When I left Christianity, I don't know. There's a lot of things I realized. Oh man, there were a lot of moral issues with the Bible and with God and with Christians that I was kind of mulling over a little bit. You know, it's just like it wasn't until I stepped away and like really deconstructed the fear that came with questioning God that I was like, that's kind of fucked up that this dude condoned slavery, right? Like, that's kind of fucked up that he drowned a whole planet, right? Like, kind of fucked up you needed a human sacrifice to forgive people for something that you chose to make a generational curse, right? That's kind of fucked up, right? So that's something I deconstructed, really got over after I left. A lot of other things. I can't think of them right now though. Without judgment, why did you convert to atheism? I left Christianity because I just didn't see any evidence for Christianity being real. That's the one and only reason I left. Looked at the evidence. The evidence wasn't good, so I had to drop it. I'm chilling with my dog in bed. Only way to make this day better is with a hot dog. And what you're doing right now, apart from streaming, I'm literally just streaming. I'm I'm sitting on the edge of my bed, and let me paint the picture for you. I have my desk. I don't have like a chair for my desk. I just like pull my desk toward the end of my bed so I can sit on something softer and not have to get too far out of bed to, get work done and stuff. So I'm sitting at the edge of my bed. Just when I answer a question and like really want to think about it, I look away from the chat and just like, ponder it to myself, stare off in the distance while I answer it. And just got my monitor in front of me. I'm looking at the chat and get another question, answer it, get another question, answer it. That's all I'm doing right now. Can you recommend sources to research Christianity? I would recommend, I'd say obviously the Bible, right? The best translation you could probably go with is the NRSV. There's a lot of different, like not maybe not too many, but there's a few different NRSV translations. There's, if you're British, there's the Anglicized or Anglicized. If you're Catholic or trying to look toward the Catholic lens, there's the NRSV UE. If you were, I'd go with the NRSV UE. I read the NRSV A. It's fantastic translation. I'd go with that if I were you. It's the one that they use in seminaries or for teaching the Bible because it's without bias from the original, from manuscript to English translation. For researching Christianity, I would try to stay away from apologetics, and I'm not just saying that because obviously I'm an atheist, right? Not too keen on apologetics, but the issue with apologists is that they are trying to explain things that they already believe in, and so naturally they're not going to be objective about it. And so, if you want an objective view of Christianity, probably stay away from people who are either make a whole career off of or who have like some sort of divine incentive to try to put lipstick on the doctrine. I just say read the Bible, you know, look into some scholarly works. A lot of scholars have some really good books out there, both atheist scholars and like Bart Ehrman and Christian scholars. They got some great literature out there. And then after that, like it would have to be maybe not Christianity itself, but I maybe look into some philosophy. Graham Oppy's great. Yeah, I'd say go with that's there you go. What inspired you to write your YouTube bio description? What's in my Oh, they're the truth doesn't mind being questioned. That's a quote. That's half a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche. It's the whole quote is the truth doesn't mind being questioned and a lie doesn't I forget it. The truth doesn't mind being questioned and a lie doesn't like being challenged. And so that's kind of the point of the channel is like if we're going to get to what's true or not, then we have to be unafraid to discover it because the truth itself is it's not going to care what you feel about it, right? And b something that's false is gonna want you to not know that it's false. So if something's kind of biting back against it, and probably best to maybe not dump it all together, but see it why it's doing such a thing. As far as that relates to Christianity, the fact that God will not be questioned, lean on it to your own understanding, blessed are those who believe without seeing, all these things that reinforce just like not critically thinking is part of what led me to believe that Christianity is false. So yeah, Friedrich Nietzsche made that quote. Though the truth doesn't mind being questioned, and a lie doesn't like being challenged. Thanks. No, I'm glad I could be of service. What do you believe created the universe as God? If God does not exist, I think the universe itself has always existed in some form. I think the universe is in an eternal cycle of expansion and contraction. That's my personal guess, but past the point of the Big Bang, nobody knows. So I'm not going to claim to know either. Universe is not eternal. We have evidence as proof. Let me take a wild guess here. You're going to say that the Big Bang is the defined start of the universe, because if so, I got a source showing that you're wrong about that. There's no God. I agree. I do agree. Everything is subjective. If something so simple as colors are relative to the observer, how such complex subjects as morality should be absolute. Also, the universe doesn't care that you feel alone. Yeah, there you go. What caused the expansion? Nobody knows. I don't know. You don't know. The scientists themselves don't know. Nobody knows. It's the laws of physics break down at such extreme. So, past the point of heat, past the point of density, it's impossible to say. Why are you like this? What way am I like? Like, Why must my voice sound like this? I got an answer for that. Why do I talk like this? I got an answer for that. Why am I an atheist? I got an answer for that. Yeah. Why am I such a douchebag? I got an answer for that. I got you. Same here. No God. W. No gods. Zero. Zilch zippity doodah. When we walk by a house, we don't think, whoa, that was always there. We know somebody built it, so why would the earth and stars and everything just be there? And now the scientists know what happened. The difference between something like a house, what else do you like to say? A painting has a painter, a building has a builder, blah, blah, blah. But the difference between that and the universe and what makes it both a false equivalence fallacy and a composition fallacy, when you use that as an example, is I'll go over the false equivalence first. So with things like buildings and painters, we can compare it with the reality around us and know that these things aren't natural, right? We know that houses, the nature of houses, the nature of buildings, the nature of paintings require human intervention. So you see the thing, you know there had to be a human to intervene to make that. But with the universe, we only have the one to work with. So we don't have some sort of extra universal standard to determine what an uncreated universe looks like, what an undesigned universe looks like. So it's arbitrary to say that, oh, just things are the way that they are, therefore it calls for this one particular hypothesis when there's otherwise no evidence. I think that's absurd. It's also a composition fallacy because you assume that what's true of a part of the universe, which would be like the house or a building or a painter, a painting or whatever, has to apply to the whole universe. It's like saying, it'd be like saying that a whole car is made out of rubber just because the tires are. That's dumb, right? Um, so no, that's why I don't think that the fact that things that are created require a creator, or things that are invented require an inventor, is proof of a god behind the universe. Especially when you look at a lot of the more inefficient parts of our reality, like our oceans being so salty that we can't drink them. The true beauty of our reality is how life has no meaning because we are truly free to make our own. Positive nihilism. Yeah, we love a good existentialist. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. W existentialism. Let's go. Okay, I'm missing some. After the heat death of the universe, we would eventually end up in a static state akin to what is assumed to be just before the expansion, and it could lead to a new expansion. Yeah, possible. Love to see it. Yeah, probably get I say probably I would get melted to smithereens in under a microsecond, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool. You seem very intelligent and open-minded. I encourage you to change your mindset and look at the existence of God not from a religious outlook, but from an actual human experience. Stay away from hypocrisy. Firstly, I do appreciate the compliment. Thank you. You know, I try my best to be open-minded, intelligent. That's up to you to determine, right? But I don't know. It's just like I think by the very nature of God, you'd have to look to some sort of religion, right? Maybe not a world religion, but even if you were to just be a deist, right? It's not technically a religion. You don't have any churches or anything like that to go to. There's no congregations. It's just you believe that there is someone with intent that created the entire universe. Like, sure, but um even then I see no reason to look into it. You know, it's just, I mean, well, to look into it, I see no reason to accept it given the information available. The salt water has a purpose behind beside us drinking it, sure, but you know, why were we made to not be able to drink salt water? Have a good rest of your day, Command. I appreciate you being here. Can a water bottle become a god? I mean, if you describe it as such, maybe to you. How is that inefficient? How is it inefficient for the world to be, what, 71% water we can't drink? 97% of the water being so salty we can't drink it? Right? Well, 71% of the land on the earth being water. Because God is salty, right? God is also windy because if I were God personally, I'm not making hurricanes, but that's just me. I don't know. It seems kind of odd that everything is quote unquote intelligently designed, but God made hurricanes. Let's see here. Talking amongst yourselves. Love it, love it, love it. Have you considered the possibility of religious outcomes while being an atheist? For example, what would you feel if you experience some sort of afterlife when you pass away? It just depends on the afterlife, right? If I, you know, got thrown into hell for all of eternity for not believing in a correct God, I would say, okay, well, if I had a chance to think about it, I'd be like, okay, well, the God that did this is a piece of shit, right? I didn't do anything worthy of eternal torment, I don't think. Or at least not the version of, like, the definition of justice that I have available to me, or had available as a human, I should say, because they're speaking like past tense. Says that I would be worthy of eternal punishment just for not being convinced of one particular religion. So I'd say, okay, God's a piece of shit. Fucked up. Hate to see it. If it were heaven, that'd be kind of horrific too. Like, eternity doing anything sounds kind of awful. If there's nothing afterward, I got nothing to think, so no time to think. If, say, I get a universe to myself and I can just do whatever I want, and I become like the god of my own domain and can, make myself mortal if I want to, make myself, you know, wipe my memories if I want to, get them back if I want to through some sort of way. Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, it just depends on the afterlife, I guess. Uh, got that Jesus money? I don't know. I'm not monetized on YouTube. I only got like half my watch hours. Watch hours fucking suck, dude. I hate these things. 3,000 watch hours, dude. Come the fuck on. But no, I'm not making that YouTube money. Unfortunately, I'm not even making that TikTok money. Their creator rewards program is garbage, and yeah, they keep suspending my streams where I can earn subscribers and gifts just because they feel like it. So intelligent is not cancer. Yeah, can't forget the cancer. Ever forget the cancer. Though you can't be for sure, just as no one can, what do you believe happens after death? What do you think of near-death experiences? Also, what do you think of the Eucharistic miracles? I'll address them one by one. I think that you cease to exist after you die, or at least like your ability to experience things ceases to exist. I think it's like before you were born. Basically, you didn't we weren't aware of anything before you were born because the part of you that's has the ability to experience things didn't exist yet. So it'd be like that after you die, I think. Near death experiences, as somebody who's done a lot of psychedelic substances, and who has a brain like everybody else that has DMT floating around in it that releases, you know, the fact that people see things that they're already familiar with for the most part shows me that they're it's just the brain trying to comfort itself, making things up to comfort itself. So that's what I think of near death experiences. I don't think it's an accident that people from India so happen to see Krishna and Vishnu. I don't think it's an accident that people from West Asia and North Africa so happen to see like some version of Allah or Muhammad. I don't think it's a coincidence that people so happen to be from the Americas and Oceania and Africa and Europe so happen to see like Jesus or something. If somebody never ever ever heard of these things and like they saw it after death, I mean that'd be a little bit more convincing, but so far I haven't heard such a thing. I don't think it's a surprise to the people that say they've seen Allah after death also happen to speak Arabic. Like I had to translate their paragraphs from Arabic. And the Eucharistic miracles, I'm not seeing any evidence for it. I think it's kind of absurd to think that a wafer cookie can turn into human flesh or uh, things like that. I think that would be a kind of fucked up for like if God did exist. Like imagine proving himself that way. I'll turn a wafer to human flesh. That's kind of disgusting, right? But even beside it being disgusting, I'm just not seeing any evidence for it. Anyway, I've been yapping for a minute. Wolf, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. There are near death experiences in Egypt that relate meaning with Anubis, for example. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's an accident. If somebody were completely, totally unfamiliar with a religious figure and then so happened to have seen it after death, then that'd be badass. I'd look into that more often, but you know, it was funny. I was reading a lot about him when I was first deconstructing because I was thorough as fuck when I first deconstructed. So part of um part of that was reading about near death experiences, and I read this one. It was so compelling. I didn't know shit about Hinduism yet. I was like, oh wow, Saw a blue lady with 6 arms and like a bunch of arms and shit. Like, wow, that's crazy. Who published the article? Some dude named I forget his name. I think it was like Sundeep or something Chowdhury. Just the most Indian name possible. It's like, oh, okay. It's like now that I know a lot more about Hinduism and like what part of the world it's most concentrated to, I think it's obviously no secret that somebody who's familiar with it is gonna claim to see such a thing. Uh, how did the Earth come with everything we need if there's no God? I mean, everything we need. Are we sure about that? Do we need earthquakes? Do we need hurricanes? Do we need mudslides? Do we need tornadoes? Do we need volcanic eruptions? Do we need only 66% of the world's land being arable? Do we need only what is it, like 29% of the world's land to be actual land that we can live on? Do we need only 3% of the world's water to be fresh so we can drink it? Um, yeah, it seems a little odd to me. Do we need the star that we rotate around to give off carcinogenic radiation? Like, it's a little odd. I think wouldn't call those needs personally. For me, as an atheist, or at least somebody who accepts evolution, it makes a lot more sense that we just evolved to fit our surroundings rather than that imperfect surroundings were made for us by a perfect God. I think the former is more likely. Give me a second, 1 second. Do we need you here right now talking shit about God? I'm not talking shit about God, right? Somebody said, you know, how was everything created or the planet created with everything that we needed? These are features of our planet. Do we need those things? You have to account for that if you say the planet was created for us with everything that we needed. If you're sensitive about it, you don't like me talking about your particular God. Don't like a little smoke. I mean, fuck off, right? Like we just fuck off, right? Do a little fuck off, right? Do a little skedaddle. Do a little get out of here. You know, prove it that there's no God. No, I'm not taking a bait on that one. A, because the burden of proof isn't on me because I'm not making the positive affirmation that deviates from the reality's default. But then B, I'm not gonna sit here and try to disprove something that you guys claim. It's just like, oh, he's outside of everything. He's outside of space, outside of time, outside of quite literally everything. It's just like it's like writing. It's like you ever had that one friend that was kind of nerdy in school, and you did like original character versus original character, and he just says like, oh, mine can nullify everything, and he's all powerful, and this, that, and the third. Like that's what Christians do. Oh, he's outside of quite literally everything we can use to verify him one way or the other. Now prove he doesn't exist. Oh, you can't? Haha, joke's on you. It's like, fuck off, man. When did you convert to atheism? I left Christianity 10 years ago when I was 19. What's up, Officer McKeel? How you doing? Do you know something about Islam? If yes, what do you think? I've read the Quran, what is it, Surah 1 verse 1 to Surah 114 verse 6, and it's not for me. It's just not for me. I can't be a Muslim. Can't be a Muslim. Just can't be a Muslim. So you're telling me if God died, if I died right now and met God, would you accept hell gladly? Yeah, I would. I think I would, cause if I seek the God and looked for all types of evidence of his existence, and then he decided not to show it because he would prefer like faith for some weird reason, then I died, and he's like, "Oh, you not having faith is worth you burning for all of eternity?" Then that's a piece of shit God I want nothing to do with in the first place. I would hope that you don't want to be with somebody that thinks you're worthy of eternal suffering just because you weren't convinced that he existed, right? God is both rational and super rational, able to be understood within our limited capacities, and then because of that, able to be trusted in a fuller totality beyond our capacities. Hey, take that up with the Christians that want to claim that he is just outside of everything, and I want to change the meaning of the word omnipresent. Just take it up with them. Don't take it up with me, because I'm just repeating what I've heard from. I would say, I mean, the most conservative estimate would be like 90% of Christians since my deconstruction. Do I like pizza rolls? I love pizza rolls. Yeah, pizza's my favorite food, so pizza rolls are obviously gonna be high up there. What do you think about the promised paradise? To me, it feels boring because there's nothing new to learn. After all, isn't life about learning how to be human? Yeah, among many other things, heaven sounds kind of mid. Eternity, like for me, like the part that really fucks me up is like the eternal worship of God. It's like, is that what I was created for? Just to worship you for all of eternity? It's all eternity. Just to put it in perspective, I was a Baptist for the first 16 years of my life, roundabout, and we worshiped hard on Sundays, man. We worshiped. We were like, okay, let's worship this motherfucker. Hell yeah. And then like I'm just imagining doing that or some facsimile of that for literally all of eternity. There's no end in sight for it. That is just a brute fact of your reality at that point. I don't know, dude. That seems awful. That seems awful. That's just not very great. You just prefer just normal pizza? I like both. I prefer normal pizza, but I'm not gonna pass up on pizza anything. Pizza calzone, fuck yeah. Pizza rolls, fuck yeah. Um, Pizza hot pocket, fuck yeah. Yeah. Do anything with pizza, and I'm really gonna love it. God sounds like an attention-seeking narcissist, absolutely. And if somebody was raised by one, I mean, it just checks out. Y'all can fry your brain all day trying to prove God exists. Unchained Skeptic can't prove he doesn't exist either. Yeah, if you want to say it's LMAO to say like, oh, you can't prove my OC doesn't exist, even though I took him outside of literally everything, then you're just a moron. Sorry, you're just stupid. Pizzeria chips, absolutely. Yeah, I'll leave it at like this. If it's flavored like sauce and cheese, at the very least, I'm gonna like it. Hunter, I'm not gonna debate some random fuckhead about whether or not I was a Christian. You got me fucked up. Have you actually looked into Eucharistic miracles, the Shroud of Turin? There's one video with Michael Knowles and a researcher, I forgot his name, that dives deep into the Shroud. The Shroud's been debunked so many times. To heaven and back, pun intended. The Shroud's been debunked. Um, there's the carbon dating. There's like the new wide angle X-ray scattering, but that will only show accurate dating if it was kept at a consistent temperature, which it hasn't for the past few hundred years. There's the inconsistent weaving pattern, which you wouldn't expect from a first century linen cloth. It's herringbone pattern, where it would have been a plain weave if it were like from the first century. There's the Eurocentric features of Jesus on the cloth, which make no sense if he was from Judea, especially 2,000 years ago. What else, man? Why is he covering his dick and balls up? I'm not trying to be crass, but like, why is he covering his dick and balls up, right? If they wrapped him in a cloth, especially if he's been crucified, which is like supposed to be humiliating, and like, firstly, they threw him into mass graves. Like, let's start there, right? But even if he got his own tomb and got a cloth for it, why is he covering up his dick and balls? Oh man, what else? There was red ochre, which is like an iron oxide pigment found on it, which shows that it was very clearly painted on. What else? There's the proportions being wrong, it being more so like a photograph instead of what's to be expected proportionally if you were to actually take a shroud and put it over somebody that's bleeding to death or who's dead already, and then take it off of them. Like, there would have been more stretching on the face. The arms wouldn't have been as long, but they are. So that shows it was very clearly just painted on. I'll give the Shroud of Turin credit. It's a nice art piece. It's a nice art piece. I'll give it that. It's very cool. What they did with it, especially in the 13th century, that's pretty awesome. But um, the actual burial shroud of Jesus, I mean, it's been debunked so many times. It's not even funny. Hey man, what made you think God is not real? It's lack of evidence is what made me think God's not real. That's all there is. All there is to it. The Shroud of Turin does not even match the descriptions of the linen in the Bible. Yeah, exactly. Plus, there's like the Pope at the time. I don't know if it was the Pope, but recent Pope. A Pope since, I'll say a Pope, that said, "Nah, this is fake, dude. It's cool, but it's fake." He had no incentive to say such a thing. Couple that with all the shit we literally just talked about. Yeah, it's a forgery. A nice looking forgery. I'll say that. It's pretty cool. You know, pretty gothic looking, but yeah, it's a forgery nonetheless. Uh, they have no idea how the image got there. That's just again verifiably incorrect. If red ochre is an iron oxide pigment used for the color red, um, it was present in the pigment. Wouldn't have been present if it were blood, right? Present in the pigment, painted on. That simple. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, plus, if we want to just say, like, oh, I heard your claims, but I'm just going to say they don't know and tell you to watch the video, I mean, at that point, I'm just going to think you're just being a silly, goofy guy. The Pope at the time it was discovered said it was fake. Yeah, I knew it was either him or like one of the popes near there. It's like either him or like one or two popes after him. But you're another ex Christian. A welcome in becoming rich. Good to see you. Good to see you. Have you watched Wesley Ruffs? Oh, are you talking about like Wes Huff? Oh no, I don't watch Wes Huff. Wes, you know, he's bright when it comes to the historicity of the Bible. His apologetics are at least fresh. I'll give him that, but they're just that apologetics. It's just preaching to the choir. So no, I don't watch Wes Huff. I think past this debate with Billy Carson, I'll give him this. Billy Carson did not look good in that debate. I'll openly say it. He looked kind of weak. It wasn't a dog walking, but it was kind of brutal. As an atheist watching, I was like, oh goodness, you know, I needed to watch like some Alex O'Connor to cleanse myself off. But so I'll give Wes that. He's a bright person. He's a smart person, but at the end of the day, he's just an apologist. So I can't really take anything he says at face value. If that were the case, I wouldn't have deconstructed. Tommy Gunn, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Really enjoy Bishop Robert Barron's content on YouTube. He had great conversations with Alex O'Connor as well as very consistent and clairvoyant. If he talked to Alex, I probably would like it. Yeah, I love Alex O'Connor, dude. He's part of the reason I made my channel name this because I wanted like skeptic to be a part of it, but I was like, you know, just can't be over the head with it, right? Um, so I was like, okay, what best describes me? Oh, the fact that I used to be Christian, no longer Christian anymore, took the chains off, unchained skeptic. There we go. Unrelated, but what town hall level are you in Clash of Clans? I've never played Clash of Clans a day in my life. Sorry. Couldn't tell you. Currently new here, and I just respectfully want to ask you what made you think that there is no God and how you became an atheist. Right. So I left my faith after about a year and a half of deconstruction, and that's just critically thinking about why you believe what you believe, interrogating your faith, taking it apart layer by layer, piece by piece, and checking to see if you find any veracity in the claims of the faith. Ultimately, for me, after about a year and a half of that process, I just came to the conclusion that I don't believe in anything supernatural or divine. I looked into the evidence, looked at the archaeological evidence, the historical evidence, the logical arguments. Obviously prayed to God himself. I was like, let's approach the big guy himself, and all of it came back flat in its own individual way. So that's why I stopped believing. Where are you from? I'm from Michigan, from the great state of Michigan. Go, I don't even fucking know, Spartans, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the difference between them. You should look at the stories about the church who was handing out bread, the body of Christ, and they accidentally dropped one. They threw it in a bin, and one of them found red mold growing on it. She mistook it for the blood of Christ. Ah, fuck. Is that where the Eucharistic miracle came from? No fucking shot, right? No shot. Get specific. What issues do you have? Issues in what regard? I got scoliosis. You know, my lower back is kind of, you know, it's not nothing crazy, but you know, like one of my, you know, vertebrates kind of doing its own little thing, so that hurts constantly. What do you mean? Like, you probably mean like an issue with the Bible or something. I don't know. Let's elaborate. Let's see here. You move from one belief to another belief. Your laughing emoji let me know it's just you're just trying to be intellectually dishonest and inflammatory. Can I prove God doesn't exist? Can I prove that something outside of everything doesn't exist? No. The same way I can't disprove that there's not a teapot rotating around Jupiter. It's an untenable position or unfalsifiable position, I should say. So If you want to make an unfalsifiable position and then like try to back up your faith in it by just saying that it can't be disproven, I think that's asinine. You have a serious question? What's your serious question? Just got here. What about the conditions on the zone of Earth? What about the conditions for the zone the Earth is in to sustain life? If the God that you're arguing for is just the God of the Earth, then I mean, it's still not a great argument because like the Earth itself is imperfect in a lot of ways, but um, it's the God. If it's the God of the universe who made sextillions, that's a big number. Sextillions of planets that have no life on them, or at the very least that we can't verify have life on them, then that seems wildly inefficient to me. You want a universe teeming with life, but you make the universe mostly empty. That seems absurd. Secondly, to just address your point directly, there's like a few million miles of wiggle room between like closer to the sun or further away from the sun where life would still be possible. And even if we want to ignore that, then I mean, I wouldn't call the conditions on Earth perfect. I think the fact that the sun we rotate around gives off UV energy, that the UV radiation that can give us cancer. I think that's kind of weird. I think that earthquakes, like the planet being made with tectonic plates that can shift in a way that can cause earthquakes and tsunamis, I think that's kind of weird. I think our atmosphere being made in a way that it can interact with warm ocean fronts and cause hurricanes, I think that's kind of odd. Um, all these, and I would say these things are otherwise not odd, but I mean they kill so many people, so I'm not seeing the perfection there. So yeah, I'm not seeing the perfection. Should you buy the ZX10R or the R1? I don't know what either of those are, so I'm not sure how to answer that one. If you want to flip a coin, though, that's the way to do it. You can't see them, but you can't see air either. And you know air exists. It's funny you mention air. You can quite literally see air if it's cold enough. So that's a bad analogy. Oh, just because life sucks doesn't mean God doesn't exist. My I never said it did, right? I said I have scoliosis. What do y'all? It's there's a persistent issue. I don't know if it's with Christianity in general or if it's just like people being people who so happen to be Christian, but like, why do we feel the need to like put words in people's mouths, right? Like, aren't we vibing? Aren't we having a good time? Why do we gotta put words in my mouth? What issues do you have? Oh, I have scoliosis. Got a little. My back hurts. Oh, just cause life sucks doesn't mean God doesn't exist. Like, where the fuck did you pull that from? Are you listening to the same stream as everybody else? Anyway, there's nothing in scripture that says that God made a perfect world without suffering. Oh, then that God's not one I'm interested in worshiping. The conversation ends there. Bad Christians also don't disprove God. Okay, honestly, 3 strikes you're out, Mark. I'm sorry. Just 3 strikes you're out. Putting words in my mouth twice, and then just yeah, just bye. Have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you, but put user in timeout 24 hours. Skadoosh, skadoosh, man, just skadoosh, bro. I don't need that. I don't need that right now. If there's plenty of people in the chat that have been in the chat throughout the day that have been proud to come in, engage, and you know, leave, stay, whatever, subscribe, not subscribe, whatever, right? But you just coming in, trying to put words in my mouth, dude. It's just not gonna cut it. Sorry, just got to get you on out of here. Have a good rest of your day. What kind of archaeological discovery caused you to not believe? I mean, it's not the archaeological discoveries that cause me to not believe. It's the claims of archaeological discoveries that I realized were hoaxes that lent lack of credibility to the beliefs. I feel like if there was a God that existed and wanted to make sure that the record was set straight on his existence, he wouldn't have made sure that people like Ron Wyatt can go running around and lying to people about finding the Ark of the Covenant. Do I think religion is a tool for control? I think it can be, absolutely. I fail to see how that's the case with some religions, but I think in general, yeah. It's like it's the analogy I always use for like when people ask where life came from. I'm like, okay, so the molecules or the organisms that have the ability to self-replicate are going to self-replicate, and that's why we have, life all over the planet. And similarly, the religions that are made for control are going to control people, and that's why those are going to be the ones that are the most visible to the average person. So, but yeah, I think in general, yeah, especially the top two religions on the planet. Why'd you stop believing? The lack of evidence. That's why I stopped believing, TJ. See here. What's more likely, the cup was shaped in the exact same shape as the water was going to take? God put us here, or that the water took the shape of the cup? Exactly. A lot of people really ignore the malleability of life, especially over the course of so many millions and millions of years. I just chalk it up maybe to lack of education, which, I mean, people don't get to choose their education, so I mean it's what it is, what it is. But you know, yeah, if you look around and think this was made for us, then I don't know what to tell you on that one. The Christian God is literally defined as love and a creator. Why would he create a planet with quadrillions of conscious beings all having to hunt and kill each other to survive? Exactly. It seems so odd to me. Like, you create lions with the having to go and rip out gazelles' throats and drag them back to their families to eat. You know, you create whales to not be able to mercy kill their food, so they have to just let their stomach acids just digest a fish whole, before they die. Like, that seems a little odd to me. Like, even humans, you gotta create us to needing to. I don't know. It's just it's odd. It makes no sense to me. I feel like all of these "why did you stop believing" questions fail to understand there are lots of reasons behind it, not just one. I didn't just read one sentence and change my entire life. Yeah, exactly. For me, it was 66 books plus apologetics plus a year and a half of study. And I'm talking like, I'm not just talking like, I'll put like here and there. I'm talking day in, day out. I was hyper fixated on it. It was it's the most important thing in my life, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, of course I gotta look into this, give it a fair shake. But year and a half of extensive, extensive, extensive study. It wasn't just like a one day I'm just like, I dropped my coffee. I dropped my coffee. I really wanted my coffee, so God doesn't real. I guess I'm gonna go to hell. Like, no, that just makes no sense. Beetlejuice, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you about whether or not I was a Christian. You can fuck off. How do you think the universe Big Bang, or was it just there from the infinite? Past the point of the Big Bang, science doesn't know, so I'm not gonna claim to know either. But if I had to take a guess, like if I had to look at all the hypotheses and see which one seems the most likely to me, I think that the universe itself has always existed. I think it's um, like the universe is in an eternal cycle of expansion and contraction. Possible, maybe. Quantum fluctuations, possible. So, yeah, that's a very INFJ way to study. Oh, you remember it. Why are you gay? Who says I'm gay? What do you think about Christian extremists? In the kindest words possible, I think they should be done away with. I think that, well, that's probably a little bit extreme. Like like Christian nationalists, if that's what you mean. I mean, yeah, I think they should be done away with. Maybe not done away with them. Get them out of here, right? But if they want to have a Christian nation, I mean, have at it. But there's plenty of islands out in the Pacific you can go and have it. Do I believe in my dad? Yeah, I've seen my dad, and I've talked to my dad, hung out with my dad, and touched my dad, and remember my dad. And I'll do you one better. Let me look over real quick. There it is. I have his obituary on the wall. It's like literally tacked onto my wall, so I can look over and see a picture of my dad. So yeah, I believe in it. So not seeing the correlation here. Oh, what do you think? God's not real? Just a lack of evidence is why I don't believe in God. For the big man to come and need something to create it, life can't come from non-life. So let me show you the issue with the life can't come from non-life, like copy and paste Cliff Nectal apologetics, right? If life can't come from non-life, meaning all things that are alive have to come from a living source, then God, as this living being, would have to come from a living source. He would need a creator. So imagine if I told you, okay, who created God then? What created God? How did God get here? your response is going to be right on cue. God doesn't need a creator. He is eternal. He's the Alpha. He's the Omega. He's always existed. He doesn't need to come from life. He's always existed. He's the source of life. And so that shoots your initial claim right in the foot. You believe that life can exist without needing a living, it's like necessarily needing something living to cause it. And I agree. I agree because abiogenesis happened, and you agree because you believe in an eternal God. Has to come from something though. What do you mean? Never mind. I'm not. I'm just. I think I'm just done answering like something from nothing questions. If you hear me say, "I believe the universe is eternal," and your response to that is, you know, you think it came from nothing. At that point, you're either just not listening or not tracking. So I don't know what to tell you. What's up, Cito? Good to see you. How you doing? Do I believe in a multiverse? I don't personally believe in a multiverse. No, I see no reason to at least. Possible. I think it's a little bit more probable than like a simulation, but yes, whatever. Look up Miller-Urey experiment. They literally made organic matter from inorganic. Given that time, organic matter could become life. Exactly. Yeah. So, but we're not ready for that conversation. I'll do you one better because the Miller-Urey experiment was like in the 50s. I want to say there was a protocell experiment that came out just last year, like August. Not even a year old. And I really need some water, but yeah, right there whenever you want to. All right, Magnus, I'm gonna go get you out of here. Go get you on out of here. Appreciate you stopping by, but I never claimed something came from nothing. That's the quite literal Christian belief. If you read Genesis 1:1 and 1:2, you know, God created the heavens and the earth. The matter was formless, meaning it was created before it had form, because you can't just go from formless matter to formless matter, meaning it was created from nothing. So if you want to just say, oh, atheists actually believe that, and then I'm going to ignore you saying the universe was eternal and misrepresent it, then you're not somebody I want in my stream. So go ahead, get you one out of here. Skadoosh. Get skadooshed. Everybody say goodnight to Magnus. Appreciate him, but it's just not the stream for you. That's okay. Not every stream is for everybody. Universe could come from nothing. If the parameters for something not coming from nothing didn't exist, that means nothing could in fact become something. Yeah, the quantum fluctuation hypothesis definitely says that that's something that's entirely possible with virtual particles. Do I know the Shroud of Turin? I do know the Shroud of Turin, and the Shroud of Turin has been debunked like 5 ways this Sunday. Do you think we were reincarnated? Also a great song by Kendrick Lamar. Reincarnated. I was stargazing. Life goes on, and all my babies get. Woke up looking for the broccoli. Hot keep a horn on me. That can my seat. I peep on the shit. The blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off. I get off in my feet. Get off the music. It makes me dance. So, do I believe in an alternate reality? I just have no reason to. I don't deny it or believe in it. I just have no reason to accept it personally. Sadly, you're going to hell. Why are you apostrophe Ari? If we're going to do what the Bible doesn't say and give me a hell to go to and judge me before God, then at least get your grammar right, right? That's not too much to ask for. Why'd you stop believing? A lack of evidence. Looked for evidence. It was unconvincing, so had no choice but to say, okay. I've been lied to. Maybe not intentionally. I've been lied to maybe by people who were also lied to, but I was sold a lie, so that's why I left. See here. Sadly, it's not mean. It's the truth. If it's the truth, then prove it. Why are you so quick to call someone mean but not correct? I didn't call you mean. Or are you talking about like maybe somebody else? I don't know, but yeah, I think it's a mean thing to say, like, you're going to suffer for all of eternity. Here's a hot take. Maybe I'm a little radical for thinking this. Maybe it's a little out there to think this, right? But if you teach your kids they deserve to go to get punished for all of eternity just for existing, you should have your kids taken away. Excuse me, right? Hands up, don't shoot, right? If you teach your kids they're worthy of suffering for all of eternity, just for being quote unquote born, understanding whatever the fuck stupid whatever Christianity makes up, you should probably have your kids taken away. Yeah, I'll go that far. You should probably not have kids. There should probably be some child abuse. allegations. What's your favorite food? My favorite food is pizza. I'd say my first favorite food is pizza. My second favorite is steak. Third favorite is chicken tenders. What would my fourth favorite be? I don't know. I have a lot of. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Pizza, steak, chicken tenders. Those are my top three. Used to be a Muslim. Oh hell, that takes a lot to deconstruct, dude. I'm glad to see you on the outside of that shit. Hell yeah. I don't judge you, but try reading One Heartbeat Away. It will change your life. Trust me. Is it just apologetics? Because if so, I'm not interested. Used to be a Christian. Hell yeah. Glad you're out of it for sure. Permafrost, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Used to live in Ann Arbor. Oh man, there's a whole lot of Muslims out in Ann Arbor, and Hamtramck especially too. Hamtramck, yeah, like that general area. There's a lot going on out there. Uh, Belief isn't a choice. You either believe or you don't. You can only choose to fake believe or disbelieve. Exactly. And if God cared so much about like people pretending to believe in him or not, like he still know. He's all knowing, right? Put some broccoli on pizza. I think it can work, but only with like a select few toppings. I'm talking light broccoli, chicken, maybe some feta. Um, yeah, maybe like that. But like the average pizza, broccoli doesn't go on. You'll serve me a Chicago style pizza if you come here. Ooh, are you talking tavern style or like deep dish? If so, like there's one right answer. I'll give you a hint. It's not tavern style. I'm sorry for all my Chicagoans who like tavern style pizza. I had it like, it's okay. It's fine, right? But there's nothing special about it. It's just, oh, it's flat. Oh, they cut it into squares. Oh boy, revolutionary. It's like, nah, dude. Deep dish is where it's at, man. That's some good stuff. Oh, but the tourists eat it. Motherfucker, it is a casserole. It is imposing. You eat a whole deep dish pizza, you need to go to prison. That's a lot of food. That's a family feeder. That's the good stuff. Boy, I'd love to take you up on that if I ever end up scrolling through the Chicago area. Stuff your favorite food. What's your favorite drink? I'm obvious. Water. Water's my favorite drink, but it's not even close. I'm not just saying that to be like, oh, I'm so healthy. I'm not. I'm not a very healthy person. Like, not physically, not mentally. I'm like 240, 6'2". I could stand to lose some pounds, right? But it's just the pure hydration that comes from water. It's just there's no benefit to any other beverage that compares to it. Sodas, juices, they taste good, taste better, I'd say, but enough for the to justify like the lack of the hydrated feeling I get from drinking water. No, deep dish baby, that's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Second favorite though, probably like I don't know, beer or something. That's so disgusting to say. I'm just so gross. Beer though, yeah, probably beer. Good Blue Moon. Any drinkers in chat? I'm a fan of my beers. What's your favorite game? Grand Theft Auto 5 is my favorite game. Gatorade is solid. At least some flavors are. Hot take: the cucumber lime flavor is very overhated. Very, very overhated. It's not my favorite, but like when I heard the discourse around it, I'm like, oh man, that's heartbreaking. That's a good flavor. Akruchi, you know what? You're going to yeah, I'm going to hell, sure, fine. That's all fine and dandy. You're going in timeout for literally the rest of the stream. Skadoosh. Don't want you here. Don't need you here, more importantly. You know? If I want a hell threats, I go to a Westboro Baptist Church, not getting this from some random Zoomer piece of shit in my not TikTok, YouTube chat. Honey with milk, solid. See here. Do I believe communism or capitalism? Ultimately, I think socialism could work better than capitalism ultimately. But only in theory, unfortunately. I think humans are just we're just not quite there yet. We're not quite in the work together sort of mode to really make socialism work. But if we were, it would be optimal. Um, that being said, capitalism does make sure people don't, starve. I think both with proper regulation could work. Because nowadays, communism, at least as far as governments around the world impose it, is just authoritarian capitalism. It's just like, oh, we're going to do all the capitalist stuff anyway, but we're going to just spy on you. It's like, is that really communism? You know? So, yeah. I'd rather people not starve to death, or yeah, so. I mean, in the meantime, capitalism, sure, but ultimately, I think socialism should be the way to go. Who's the Skadooshta and what do you do? Oh, just kept saying I'm going to hell. It's like, okay, thanks. If we can't add to the conversation, then it's not the stream for you. That's okay. You're on a doom scroll and you found the stream 5 times so far. Each time it jumps from soda to skepticism to mothers. Yeah, it's a wild one. I love it. Yeah, hopefully your next doom scroll ends up with you somewhere a little bit more fruitful. Mango juice is rare in America, so as a Filipino, I'm so lucky to have a source commonly. Oh man, I want to move to the fucking Philippines, dude. Oh, that seems like such a beautiful country to move to. Beautiful people, inside and out. Like obviously, like they're nice to look at, sure, right? But they're just so fucking kind. I don't want to be in a fucking hate culture anymore, dude. I want to let my hair down. Things are obviously cheaper. Island beauty. You know, obviously it's not perfect. You know, no country's perfect, but you know, if I'm gonna be somewhere, die somewhere, I hope to be somewhere that's I'm surrounded by nice people and trees and shit and fresh fruit. I think that's pretty awesome. You should try Yakult. Is that like that like it's like that milk beverage, like fermented not fermented milk, but like something to do with milk. What kind of humanism do you ascribe to? I'll be completely honest with you. The type that says that not everybody deserves life. I'll be completely real with you. I might not even be able to call myself a humanist. I'm pretty open about the fact that I think that people like rape apologists should die. I think that obviously rapists should die. I think pedophiles should die hard. I don't, you know, I think to be a humanist, you would have to make exceptions for people. I don't know if I can call myself that. I think some people absolutely got to go. I think the world will be a better place without some people in it. So I try not to call myself a humanist. I'm not quite there yet. Living cost is very cheap too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's such a lovely country on paper at least from everything I've seen about it. Seems like a if I ever make enough money doing this, that's the first place I'm moving to. I'm not even looking back. Buy a property, you know. I turned 35 in 6 years. You know, buy property. Gotta wait till you're 35 to apply for citizenship. Sign me the fuck up. Liquid yogurt, probably. I knew it had something to do with dairy. Probiotics got you. I'm curious why you stopped believing. I just looked for evidence of God being real and found none of it convincing. That's the one and only reason I stopped believing. The evidence sucked, so you know I went with the evidence and left. Very person responded with conflicting opinions was like, "Oh, interesting. Why do you think that the world will be utopia?" Oh man, for real. But I'm also not gonna play like a saint too. Like I don't. I'm not entirely. I'm not always the most productive with the way I approach people about things. I guess like I'm gonna try to be my own advocate. Like for me, it's mostly because like I do this, not for a living, obviously, but for a hobby, and so I hear a lot of the same just unproductive, unintelligent. Sure, that's to be expected, right? But unproductive, just dishonest, obtuse, inflammatory, antagonistic bullshit on a day basis. So it grates at you, it gets to you. So I'm not as productive as I could be with this, but yeah, if we were to really just hear each other out for half a second, I think we'd be a lot better off. Seem like an awesome and funny dude, and I hate that everyone keeps telling you you're going to hell. You should probably take a more gentle approach. Why'd you leave Christianity? Oh, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try my best. I left Christianity because the evidence was lacking for me. Looked at the evidence, not very good evidence. The archaeological evidence was all hoaxes. The historical evidence didn't really ascribe to the most important parts of the Bible, which is obviously the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The logical arguments either built off of a baseless presupposition or a logical fallacy. Even if that were even if they were true, like it wouldn't lead to a God necessarily. Even if it led to a God, it wouldn't lead to the God I used to believe in necessarily. So, no answer from God when I prayed to him. So, yeah, just I was lied to. So that was the conclusion that I've reached. That's why I left. It's big in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. That'll probably, you know, what'll probably go really good with if it's what I think it is, like just like a yogurt drink, some lemonade, like some lemonade, some. Oh man, that sounds delicious. I could drink the hell out of that. I would drink the fuck out of that right now. Some lemonade, kind of yogurty, like tangy sort of situation. I would drink the shit out of it. Is that a thing? I love lemonade so much. Is that a thing? Please tell me it is. I could just see myself walking down the Manila streets, you know, just a cup of lemonade and Yakult in my hand, sipping on it, shorts on, cheeks out, just call it a day. My family's forced me into religion. I don't believe in it. You have any advice? I would say, um, depends. It would depend on how open you feel that they are. You know, do you feel like your shelter would be in
W
danger?
for deep dish pizza.
W for deep dish pizza and good, dude. Dude, James, thank you so much for the $15, dude. I appreciate that. That's huge. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. I'm still yet to see Sinners. I gotta see Sinners, but that's $44 total for the Sinners trip just from you alone. So thank you so much, dude. That's huge. I'm gonna I'm gonna see the fuck out of Sinners too. But yeah, thank you, James. Thank you. Um, but yeah, really quickly, I would say look into like, are you folks there? Are they accepting people? Would they be okay with you being honest with them? Because I think honesty is the best policy for that one. If you like live your truth, I think that's the best way to do. But only if you feel like your shelter won't be in danger or your relationship with your family won't be too far strained from it. If you honestly believe they'll be cool with it or can take it well, I'd say tell them as soon as you can. Your voice is so smooth. Oh, I appreciate that, Dan Hibiki Hibik. Thank you. Fun story. That was one of my favorite people to play in. I think it was Marvel versus Capcom 2 that Dan was in. Yeah, it was 2. I think it might have been 1 too, but he was definitely in 2. I know that for sure. That was a funny game, dude. Just like what? Remember? Did anybody play it in here? I don't know if that's a little bit of a deep cut. It came out in like the late '90s, early 2000s, so might be a little bit too far back for a lot of the people in here. But man, that was my shit growing up. I would always run Dan, Sentinel, and Cyclops. Was it Cyclops? Might have been Cyclops. But yeah, Dan, Sentinel, Cyclops. Love that team. There's cheap drinks called Palamig here, and it has lemonade flavor too. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. I really want to move to the Philippines, dude. That is, oh man. Even just thinking about it puts a smile on my face. If for no other reason, like let's just pretend like it's not good weather all year. Let's not pretend like the people there aren't just the friendliest people on the planet. Let's just pretend that the there's not beautiful beaches and trees and all that type of shit. Let's not pretend the cost of living's good. If for no other reason, I want to move the fuck to the Philippines or at least out of America because I don't like where America's going, dude. Call me radical, but yeah, I don't like where America's going. It's not looking too good. Especially if like our freedom of speech is gonna get encroached on. I probably want to get the fuck out sooner rather than later. Oh crap! Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. Who created the universe? I don't think it was a who. I think what caused the universe is that it's always existed. What caused it to expand? Who's to say? Quantum fluctuations. Cyclical hypothesis could be true. I don't know. Have you considered using your? Oh, no. Yeah, I have considered it. I've considered a lot of different things like ASMR, audiobooks, um, JOYs, but I don't know. It's just I'm joking on the last one, joking, obviously, but yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I feel like they all require a level of maybe creativity that I just don't feel like I have. I feel like I'm a lot more analytically minded than creatively minded. Doesn't have freedom of speech, unfortunately. I mean, true, fair enough, but like, not crazy, like, I don't know. We would listen to it. Oh shucks, I'm gonna be kicking my feet and stuff. Current weather of the Philippines is so bad right now. It's like hell incarnate. Is it because it's hot or cold? Not cold, but like, is it? I know you don't get like cold seasons. Is it because it's hot or rainy? Read a technical manual so I can fall asleep. Just for you, I got you. Just for you, I got you. Put the last one behind a paywall and get rich. I don't think I'm getting rich off of that shit, to be honest with you. God's about an individual thing. The irony that atheists want to talk about with other people. Why are you bring like okay? Let's say God is an individual thing. Like go to churches and tell them shut it down, pack it up. You know, go to the mosques, tell them shut it down. It's about individuality. Go to all the temples and shit, the synagogues. Say hey, go to fuck home. It's individual. Like, we're gonna put a McDonald's here. I bet you're not telling them that though. You're just trying to present that idea to me because you don't like what I have to say. It's hot, hot. Oh man, I'll tell you what though, it's better than Michigan weather. It's better. Like the Michigan summers are good. Like they're cool. Some hot days, it's summer. What do you expect, right? But our winters are fucking brutal. I think it was Thrillist that rated Michigan winters the second most miserable in the country. Second or third, might have been. No, it was second. It was second, right behind Alaska and no, right behind I think it was Minnesota. Yeah, right behind Minnesota and right in front of Alaska. Their reasoning for why Alaska wasn't as bad as Michigan was because Alaska gets cold weather all year, so winter's not that different. Currently 2:26 a.m. here. I can't sleep because I'm burning alive in my bed. Oof, that's a oof. That's a yikes. Are you from Luzon or are you from like Mindanao or I forget the third island or the third part of it. Like near Manila, near Cebu, or near Davao. Uh, let's see. You choose the punishment. I would say choice to go to hell, but mind you, isn't the torment you would think. It's just separation from life. When you say separation, what do you mean though? Because the thing with Christians is like when they talk about separation, a lot of them like just kind of circle right back to it being like torture in some way. So like, oh, with God is all good, therefore away from God is all evil. Evil would encompass everything bad, like burning and torture and literally every negative experience possible. And so we just circle right back. So I got to get your thoughts on that. This dude has no idea of life. Why does everybody come in with these laughing emojis saying the most trying shit ever? Like, come on, dude. The mosque or church or temple, it's like a gathering thing. It's like you having a dinner, that's all. Then consider this just having a dinner. There you go. Let me ask you something. Is for all the other atheists, do you swear with using OMG or OMFG? Do you use those words and then you contradict yourself as well with saying God? I mean, you don't have to believe in God to say the word God, right? So yeah, absolutely, I say, oh my God, oh my fucking God. Absolutely, I do. But it's like if I were to be exasperated over something and because like something's not working, I was like, oh fuck me, dude. Do I really want somebody to come behind me and just breach my pussy? No, I don't. I'm just it's an expression. It's a turn of phrase. You're from Mindanao, so it's much closer to the equator and that's much hotter. Yeah, you're yeah. Good luck, man. Good luck. I feel like if I were to move there, I'd probably obviously Manila's like that's where all the tourists or the people touching down go, right? But I feel like Baguio just for the heat would probably be my best bet. Just up there, a little cool breeze. Hell yeah. You do know your Philippines geography. I play a lot of GeoGuessr, so I've seen quite a bit of it. Well, not all of the country, but a lot of different parts of it for sure. See here. If you're really atheist, why you feel the need to talk here? To have a discussion, to make people critically think about why they believe the things that they do, to learn, to teach, to entertain, right? To pass the time, right? There's a lot of different reasons I do this. Uh, Can you give your opinion on question above and how often will you post? Question above. How often do I post? I don't. A few times a week. I'm really sporadic. I'm never streaming this early. I always stream really, really, really late at night. I'm talking like I never start before midnight EST, so that would be like noon Philippines time. But yeah, I'm all over the place, dude. I just stream random times throughout the week. I got no regular schedule going. What question above? I don't see it. I think it got filtered or something. I love to be in the Philippines, but it's so hot and I'm built for the cold. I'm not built for the cold anymore, man. I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm just getting way too old for this shit. If I gotta go outside and have my fucking face freezed off just while I'm trying to go to 7-Eleven, pick up some taquitos and toilet paper, I'm gonna freak out. Uh, nah, bro. He thinks the universe just happened. No, no. I think the universe has always existed. Always existed. Not just happened. Always existed. In the same way that you think that God always existed. Not that he just happened. That he's always existed. I just think that about the universe. Sixth time, OMG. Honestly, you might just have to block me at this point. You'll be responsible for anyone innocent led astray. Firstly, don't ever like correct me if I'm wrong here, right? But didn't God give everybody free will? Now, the answer is gonna be yes to that, most likely, right? If that's the case, doesn't everybody here have the right to like the free will and the ability to scroll away from the stream, right? Isn't that how that works? How are we blaming me for the things I say on my platform when everybody can just scroll away? You just scroll away whenever. Anytime you want to, just scroll away. All right. Like, I don't know how many views I've got on this stream so far. I think it's like a little over 10K so far, but we got 30 watching now, meaning over 10,000 people, 10,000 came into this stream, either talked for a bit or didn't talk for a bit, and used their quote unquote free will to say, yeah, the stream isn't for me. I'm going to scroll away now. And I respect the hell out of it. Stream's not for you. Fair is fair, right? But how are we blaming me for anybody being quote unquote led astray when everybody has free will to scroll away? How old are you, Hugh? I turned 29 years old 4 days ago. I turned 29. Yep. On the 24th, I turned 29 years old. I turn 30 next year. Then who created Adam and Eve? Adam and Eve did not exist. Oh jeez. Oh goodness. So firstly, I would hope that we know that people can't be created from dust, right? I would hope that we know that it takes more than dust and a bone to make a human being. I would really hope that we know that. And with that on the table, two people will not have enough genetic information to allow for 1,500 different ethnicities of people to evolve over 6,000 years and over 8 billion people. That's absurd. Happy late birthday. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Happy birthday to me. Oh, it's like 4 years, or not 4 years, 4 days. Why are so many people butthurt for somebody forming their own opinion? I'll never get it. I'll never get it. I want to get it, but I'm not gonna get it. It's not for me to get. Yes, they did, and they were proved to be real. Show your source. Show your source right now. By all means, I'll even wait for it. I'm not gonna sit here and not talk to anybody, but I'll wait. Provide your source. Bro, that's called a miracle. So you believe in miracles. You believe in nonsense. Thank you for admitting it. If we just want to say, oh, here's something that violates the laws of reality, but it happened anyway because it's a miracle, then you believe in nonsense. That's all there is to it. And you can believe in nonsense. I'm not knocking your ability to necessarily believe in nonsense. I mean, believe what you're convinced of, right? But you can't just say, oh, this science that we can verify, which is evolutionary biology, this is false. And what's real is that God made a miracle. Like, you sound stupid at that point, right? If we're going to deny science, like, we at least should say, like, okay, let's accept science to prove me right and prove you wrong, right? we can go somewhere from that. But just saying like, oh, it was a miracle that happened, and this miracle definitely did happen. It's odd. Happy birthday day. Appreciate it. It's not my birthday today, but it was my birthday 4 days ago. But we're good. Separation, mind you, I'm not the best explainer. Shouldn't be taken as a preacher. Separation with all the people and all the demons. Okay, yeah. So just hell all over again. We just kind of circle right back to it. So separation from God, but separation with demons. Did those demons do anything to you for all of eternity? Did they like I don't know, like torment you or burn you or anything like that? If yes, then just saying that hell is separation from God when the conception of hell that you have is literally the exact same as everybody else's or the one that's being critiqued is it's just not just try not to do that. uh you remember they used to say that if Adam and Eve are the first humans and they had babies so much they wouldn't we all be related and be a big family circle? Correct, yeah. And it's like, I mean, grossness of inbreeding aside, like even if that's just a fact of reality and they did inbreed, like did not have enough genetic information. Human beings do not have enough genetic information between two of them. They didn't, and they weren't built differently 6,000 years ago. Um, 6,000 years ago, they still wouldn't have had enough genetic information to like 8 billion viable offspring in 6,000 years. So, do you think life is just a coincidence, human knowledge, and inherit any morals? I do think human life is I'd say coincidence is the right word. Sure. A random, an otherwise random result of natural processes. Sure. Um, I'm just not seeing any extra universal proof that humans as we are should exist. What else did you ask? Human knowledge, same deal. An emergent property of our brains working and inherit any morals. Do you mean like did I inherit anything from Christianity? If so, I mean, not necessarily. Right, like love thy neighbor, golden rule, all that stuff came before Christianity and isn't exclusive to it. So I believe in those things. At least I try my best to. So, but yeah. You might not even be asking that question. I don't know what's wrong with me. Are you a former Christian? I'm interested if you were a lukewarm or a full Christian. Oh, I'm not here to you know, appease your arbitrary scale of what my faith was. I know what my faith was, and I'm me, and so I would know better than you, who is not me. Conversely, you know what your faith is, and you are you, and I'm not you. So I have no right to tell you what your faith is or what level it is. So trying to rank me like a playing card or something is it's just not going to cut it for me. How do we exist if there's no God? I'm not seeing like the word of laughing emoji is necessary. I'm not seeing anything necessarily funny about that sentence. I know we're insecure, so we gotta like put laughing emojis out to make it seem like we're more secure and got some gusto and some fervor behind the things that we're saying because we're not comfortable being antagonistic to strangers on the internet or even asking them a respectful question like you did. Like I get it, but um I'm not seeing how a god is necessary with any of the natural processes that we can account for that God is here. I'm not seeing how a god is necessary for universal expansion, for hydrogen fusion to create stars, for um, accretion disks or gravity to form other planetary bodies like planets, how it's necessary for abiogenesis to form life, how it's necessary for evolution to cause this life to evolve traits over a long period of time. I'm not seeing how a god's necessary. Who rejected God? So via free will, like mentioned earlier, he put them in a place away from him. But what everyone gets wrong is the fire will be the torture, but it's truly the separation. Okay, so you said it was with the demon. Let's circle around. Let's back up here. You said hell was with the demons. You get separated, you get put with the demons. God wants you separate from them. The demons are separate from him. Therefore, you get put with the demons. Okay, fair, fair, fair. Right? What did the demons do to you when you were in hell? What did they do? What did the demons do? Did they torture you? What did they do? Were you a former Christian? What happened to make you change? Reading the Bible is what started it. I read the Bible front page, back page, Genesis 1 verse 1 all the way to Revelation 22:21. I've read the whole thing front back cover to cover. Well, twice, but admittedly the second time I read it I was an atheist already, but reading the Bible, thinking about God differently after finishing it, looking to apologetics, getting weird answers from apologists, looking at the evidence, seeing that all the evidence sucked. That's how I became an atheist. That's how I left Christianity. Bro, not everything is created. Wait, Abdul, how old are you? Let's just start there. Let's start there, because we're arguing like we're 11 years old. We're arguing like we're just parroting like some fundamentalist nonsense. How old are you, Abdul? If God exists, then why are there so many interpretations of who and what it is? Hey, that's another great question. Christians here in chat, let's be charitable. Here appeals to authority and denouncement purely for the ends of discredit and won't change the hearts of many. Yeah, good point. But to be completely fair, I mean, they can kind of do what they want at this point, because I'm a TBH. Even if they were to prove God to me, I still probably wouldn't worship God. You know, I'd be I'd go from an atheist to a believer and a bully that I don't want anything to do with. 23. You're 23. All right. Well, that is something. But let's see. If you can't see the sun for about 20 seconds, how will you see its creator? I'm not seeing how the sun being well, firstly, it's 8 light minutes, right? But it's like 8 minutes, not 20 seconds. But beside the point, I'm not seeing how the sun being 8 light minutes away, shows that it had a creator. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that. Maybe you're like trying to analogize something. If so, like, retype it or whatever. But yeah, I'm failing to see your inference rule on that one. Hell wouldn't be bad and you wouldn't be tortured. Satan goes against God's will. God willed it for people to be tortured in hell. Satan would say no and have a party instead. That'd be pretty lit, actually. You know, that's another thing that never made sense to me about Christianity. Why would Satan torture me or burn me or do whatever it is that Satan does to people that end up in hell? Why would he do that to somebody who did everything he wanted, right? Oh, I quote unquote rebelled against God, didn't believe, didn't have faith, sinned, denounced God, mocked him, all this stuff, right? I did everything Satan wanted me to do. Why am I getting tortured for that, right? That seems kind of odd. I don't know. Would you clarify what you mean by a bully if you were to be a believer? Yeah, I think that having a realm of quote unquote separation, or in the more evangelical sense, like torture, burning, whatever, just for non-belief, is something that a bully would do. I think that telling people that he won't be mocked, or discouraging people to critically think about him or to question him, is something that a bully would do. I think that oh man, I need some water. But yeah, I think these things are pretty awful. Oh man, I need some water though. 1 second. Oh, you're a Muslim? Oh, I'm not gonna discuss this with you anymore then. Sorry. I gotta start talking to stop talking to fundamentalist Muslims. Y'all are among the most intellectually dishonest people I've ever spoken to. Um, because to reach an end to a conversation in a productive way, you would have to concede to some things that show the Quran to be, at least scientifically in this case, imperfect. And so part of what makes you a Muslim is your inability to, or your complete and total lack of desire to want to do such a thing, like to uphold the Quran as the perfect word of God to anybody that asks you. So there's no productive conversation to be had. So this conversation ends there, Abdul. We can't see God because he is holy, and holiness and sin can't coexist. No, we can't see God because he's not real. I hope this helps. I really wouldn't want you to go to hell. I just wish you well and hope you pray to be saved one day. I don't think there's anything to be saved from. It makes no sense to me whatsoever that like, if you're telling me a God that created the entire universe, like everything is like powerful enough to create everything as we know it. Um, cares about little old me not believing he exists. Like, does that make any sense to you? Oh yeah, if you two want to go into the Discord and hash it out, Discord's wide open. I think Dagoba is still like Dagoba. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think they're already in there. But yeah, only if you anybody else wants to join my Discord, you have to be over 18. Have to be over 18. Right? I'm not interested in babysitting anybody. I'm not interested in like talking about profound subjects with anybody's kids. I'm not interested in exposing kids to an environment with adults. It's just not. It won't be me. Can't be me. It's not gonna be me. So, if you are over the age of it, there's no NSFW in there, but I mean, but um, you know, even still, I just don't want kids exposed to adults. I don't want to have this discussion with anybody who's not legally an adult. So, if you are over the age of 18, you want to join my Discord, or add me on Snapchat if you want to talk in private. You know, check out my links. I probably got to get off here soon too. I've been live for how long? Yeah, over two. I'll get off at the 3 hour mark, but yeah. Let me do my links in chat real quick. Let's get my links in here. There it is. All right, pin message. Yeah, you know, head in there, subscribe to the YouTube, follow both like either of the TikToks if you have them. If you're gonna follow me on TikTok, follow both. I get suspended on like on my accounts one after the other because they're what they allow to be said on there is a lot different than YouTube. So follow my main TikTok, my backup TikTok. I've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Kick or Trovo. Follow me on those. Again, if you're over 18, not under 18, over 18, you can join my Discord or add me on Snapchat. If you want to support the stream or anything like that, that's in there too. But anyway, good day, all. Have to go. Would love to see you in Discord for discussion. My profile picture is the Holy Spirit Dove. Look forward to the rich intellectual discussion. Yeah, I'll see you in there. Appreciate you. Just make sure if you're going to talk about like religion and you know just like debating stuff, like keep it in a debate channel. I don't want to clog up general with that goodness. Can't believe it's still going. Me either, dude. This is what a day off of work looks like. Just hitting like hanging your hair down. You know, just I don't know. Just realize what we all say God is holy because the God argument is full of holes, right? Right. Honestly, I don't have a great knowledge on evidence, but my understanding is that if there is an afterlife, I'm going to run to it. I'd rather be a place with the creator of this beautiful world than a place of complete darkness for the rest of everything. Just like to live, I guess. Uh, yeah, sure, cool. It's not for me. It's not for me personally. You'll stick to the debate channel and DMs. Okay, sounds good, man. I'll see you in there. Uh, no, I'm not leaving yet. It's 13 more minutes. I can do 13 more minutes until I hit the 3 hour mark. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. What's the Discord? Go to the link in my like the pin message. Like it has a link. My beacons, the AI. Click that. It's got all my links there. You should see my Discord. But you gotta be over 18. Gotta be over 18. If you're under 18, just don't even bother. I will find out and I will ban you for it. I don't want to expose adults to minors in there. I don't want that. I don't want to be complicit in any fuckery or hullabaloo. So, yeah. Let's see here. God is a narcissist, indeed. Yeah. Anybody that says worship me or burn it's fucking narcissist for sure. What if you're exactly 18? 18's fine. Yeah, 18 exactly is fine. Just don't be 17 or younger, I should say. Be 18 or over. Don't be 17 or younger. Yeah, but 18 in and of itself is fine. Just be a legal adult. Is what I'm getting at. No, I'm gonna still be here for 13 more minutes. Oh wait, no, you out of here? Okay, have a good rest of your day, Abdul. It's 4:50 in the morning for me. What about you? It is 2:49 p.m. for me. It is Wait, 4:50 in the morning. You are 14 hours ahead. Where the hell are you? Don't say it. Like New Zealand maybe? Are you from New Zealand or Australia? He created us to worship him. Sounds like pride to me, and I'm pretty sure that's a sin according to him, right? Really likes to expose himself, all hanging on in his full glistening glory quite often. So adults only for sure. Don't listen to John, all right? This is an outright lie. This is a complete lie. I'm not in my glistening glory in there, all right? There's no glistening glory to see in there. 2:49 a.m. for you. Ah, another. You Filipino? Like somewhere in that Southeast Asian, maybe even East Asian, right? No, I think China's got their own. Does China have their own time zone? I don't know. But yeah. This is prime time for Dina. Where is she? It is what time is it for Dina? Oh yeah, she should be asleep by now. It's like 12:50 p.m. for her. So she's probably knocked the fuck out. Joined your Discord. Welcome in, welcome in. Love to see it. Pride is simply the improper glorification of the self. In order to even say pride as a concept, you have to have a concept of right and wrong. Well, I mean, if God is the arbiter of right and wrong, he should have that. So we still counts as somebody being able to have pride, right? Australia for you? Okay. I still got it. Hell yeah. It's only pride if it's not from the Judea region of Western Asia, right? You know, outside of that, I mean, you can even be owned as slaves according to Leviticus. Have you seen the movie Life of Brian Unchained? No, I haven't seen it. Monty Python, hot take. It's just not my type of humor. It's not really my type of humor. Sorry. One time zone Beijing. Okay, okay, I remember that correctly. Good. I still got it. Still got my random geography facts going. Hell yeah. But no, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm just not huge on Monty Python. I seen the Holy Grail, and I was told it was gonna be like the funniest thing ever, and it was just like it was fine. It was okay. It was decent. It's all right. Hey, look, I want no one mad at me. I'm just saying I believe that God is real. I'm not mad. You blokes don't believe it. Wish you all well if you not believe in God. God still love you. Okay. Yeah, I'm not mad at you for believing in God, dude. I'd say a little bit like, I wouldn't even say miffed. I'd say like ifed about you just trying to sneak in that God loves you. Like, sure, cool, but yeah, have a good rest of your day. You can believe in no God, but just don't say bad about him. Why not? You've seen the movie Django Unchained. I love Django Unchained. One of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies for sure. I'd say top three. I say it goes hot take Inglorious Bastards over Pulp Fiction. I know it's like often the debate is between the two. A lot of people say Pulp Fiction just because like it's classic. It's classic, sure. It is a classic. It's iconic. It's one of the I'd say top 50 movies of all time, but like Inglorious Bastards was better. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, actually. Django Unchained had to be like number three though. All right, I'm out. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see if they're respectful debates. Have a good rest of your day, Daily Dose. Appreciate you being here. He was like Life of Brian because it criticizes Christianity. That's fair. That's fair. Your understanding of what an arbiter places God outside the idea he is right itself. If he is the literal right goodness and he cannot have qualities outside slash incorruption of it. Okay, yeah, if that's the point, then we'd have to argue that everything that he condoned is good. Everything he condoned, everything he commanded, everything he committed is all good because he is pure goodness. And if that's the case, then you know, it'll lead you to a lot of horrific conclusions, especially if you read the Old Testament. Because bro, you don't have a religion, but it's disrespectful to those who do. I mean, I'm going to criticize the character, dude. If people believe in a character that did things that I find morally reprehensible, I'm going to say your character did some things that are morally reprehensible within its narrative. I think that's more than fair to say. I think that any god that condones slavery of non-Israelites should be called out for it just because you happen to believe in it and love the idea. I mean, that's great for you. I mean, that's I love that for you. But it's like, yeah, I'm gonna call you out for it. Yeah, I think anybody that believes in a God that drowned a whole planet is yeah. I think that's gonna call you out for it. I think anybody that believes in a God who has a like their holy final prophet was a pedophile. I think that's gotta be some attention addressed to that. I wouldn't be mad at anyone for believing in God. I get mad when they use their religion to stop others from having rights. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like as long as we're not using our religion for marginalization of, you know, like for what's the word I'm looking for? Oppression of marginalized people. Yeah, let it go for it. Too many people don't seem to understand that though. They're like, you know, I read Leviticus toward 2013 a certain type of way, so you both got vaginas, you can't marry. Like, no, wait, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, kill yourself. Yeah, I could say that. Yeah. Yeah, actually. Yeah. You don't think gay people should have the right to get married? Kill yourself. Yeah. I forgot I'm on YouTube. I'm not on TikTok right now. I ended my TikTok stream. Yeah. Let's get a W. Yeah. I feel like Homelander at the end of season 4 after he lasered that dude's head off and then like the crowd started cheering for him. That was me realizing like, should I hold my tongue? I can't do that. And then remembering like, oh wait, I'm on YouTube. I can say these things. Oh shit, hell yeah. But yeah, we don't think gay people should get married. We care that much about what people with the same genitals do in the bedroom if they're consenting adult humans. Kill yourself. Yeah. Yeah, actually. Yeah, die off. That's why I can't call myself a humanist, dude. I'm sorry, but like some people need to die. Yeah. We gotta make progress. Progress is impossible with regressive bullshit. If you're a regressive piece of shit, die off. Yeah. I don't think that's too far out there to say. Oh, we're gonna tell somebody how to identify? Oh, yeah, you think this person just because they have a dick they can't identify with whatever they feel works for them, whatever they feel is in their spirit they are? Kill yourself. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, come on. I don't know, but anyway. Any fucking way. Maybe wrong, but I believe there's a verse in the Old Testament that blamed. Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. I forget what it is. It's in Deuteronomy. I want to say in the 20s. Deuteronomy 20s in the like 20, 21, 22. Those chapters. Those were kind of rough, dude. Deuteronomy 22, 28 condone like it's so like, oh, if you rape somebody and she's like not married, she's not wed off or anything, you just gotta pay your father 50 shekels of silver, and you have her as your wife forever. For just fun fact, do you know how much 50 shekels of silver is in today's money? $14 and like 30 cents. That was the cost of a woman back then, a rape victim. Oh, you're a rape victim? Well, let me just pay your father $14 and now you're my wife forever. Are we fucking joking? Like, are we fucking joking? Like, hello? Like, huh? Rape is a property crime in the Bible? Exactly, man. It's disgusting, man. So I want to say this as another one. And on a list of people that should go. If you read something like Deuteronomy 22, 28, I can see if you're like, okay, well, maybe it's a mistranslation. Maybe it's, like, okay, okay, fair enough, right? You want to check, maybe it's not the original intention of it. Okay, you want to check these things before you come to a conclusion. Okay, fair enough, right? But if you read it and read the Hebrew, learn what the Hebrew says, learn how it relates to the other parts of Deuteronomy, and you come to the conclusion like, okay, well, they were just protecting them because, they wouldn't have been wed off. Kill yourself. Yeah, actually. Yeah, die off. Yeah. Maybe let's not apologize for rape. Yeah, of course. Die. Yeah. Do a flip. Yeah, of course. Like, like Jesus. I would hope this doesn't have to be said. Yeah. If we're trying to justify rape in the Bible, we should probably die. Yeah, of course. We should probably hang ourselves. Yeah. I that's one of my, I just can't stand it when people try to justify that shit, dude. I'll never get it. Die. Yeah. It's so fucking stupid. If you read something like I'm not. I don't think I can say it too many more times. Well, yeah, die. Of course. I'll stand on that business. I'll stand on it. Oh no, you said the thing. Oh, you can't tell people to do that. If you justify rape, if you justify biblical rape, do it. Do it. Back of the head. One shot. I promise you, it'll be quick. Do it. Commit. Fuck. We gotta move. We have to move forward. Why do we have this shit holding us back? We have to move forward. No two Christians follow the same religion because you have to do so much cherry picking to believe that book is good. Exactly. Yeah. You have to say, oh, this isn't literal. This is allegorical. This is metaphorical. But hey, Jesus actually died for you though, and he resurrected. Like, come on. Oh man, I got a few seconds left of the stream. Where do we go from here? I feel like I should tell one more group of people to die. Who should it be? I covered rape apologists. Covered rape apologists. Who else did I cover? Oh, I got one for you. Easy. Easy. I got one for you. If you believe that Muhammad, no, never mind. No, never mind. That might be a little bit too much for YouTube. I don't know how, like, I know TikTok's like really iffy when it comes to that, but you know. Anyway. Mormons. I'm not gonna tell entire groups to, you know, do that to themselves, right? But I'm just saying the ones that justify and apologize for awful, awful shit. Right. But anyway, that's the 3-hour mark. I'm gonna get off. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a stream. That was a stream. I'm surprised I pulled that one out. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to keep up with me, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, both my main and my backup. I gotta make another backup too, probably. I don't know. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Kick, and or Trovo if you have it. If you are over the age of 18, and only if you are over the age of 18, if you want to join the community, join my Discord. And if you want to talk in private, add me on Snapchat. If you want to send text to speech. It's probably weird for me to say this after telling multiple people to kill themselves, but not people in chat, but yeah, I mean, not necessarily people in chat, I should say, but if you want to send TTS, you could either donate, we'll tip $1 or more to my Streamlabs page, or you can donate $1 or more to the crisis text line. That feels so weird saying that, dude. I love the crisis text line. I love what they do. You know, they help me out in my worst of days, but you know, if you're a rape apologist, probably don't call the crisis text line. If you're feeling down and out, you know, you're feeling like, you know, you're not very long for this world, don't call the crisis text line. Go through with it. Yeah. If you're a rape apologist, it's so fucked up to say, but yeah, I mean every word of it. If you're a good upstanding person, or at the very least a neutral person who doesn't justify rape, you know, doesn't try to tell people who they can and can't love if it's another consenting adult human being, don't call the crisis text line if you're in trouble. You know, just maybe do it. Maybe go through with it, right? Why not? World doesn't need you. Make sure to dig a hole first so nobody's got to be asked to do it after you. Anyway, if you want to send text to speech, either tip $1 or more on Streamlabs or donate $1 or more to the crisis text line to my Streamlabs charity link. If you want to support the stream, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, it's right there. If you do Bitcoin, I have a Strike for Bitcoin Lightning and a Bitcoin address. I also have an Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and PayPal USD address. What else is in there? Check out my wishlist on Throne. If you want to send some food, check out my Treatstream. Oh, Patreon, I got that too. I don't know why I started a Patreon this early. Fuck me, but yeah, that's it. That's enough shilling. Just follow my shit, dudes. If nothing else, follow my shit. It's all free. That's all free. All the free stuff, right? Follow the things. Completely free. Doesn't cost you a penny. Do that stuff, and I'll be happy with you. All right, that's it though. Appreciate y'all.